and welcome to MD Global Muscle Radio here at the Pump Media Studios, joined by my co-host AJ, all the way from Norway. AJ.
Episode 16.
Wow!
Whoa. Buddy.
Episode 16.
Yeah.
Weather's nicer, isn't it, than it was when we first started?
Buried in May.
Yep, bring the mic a bit closer there, mate.
Buried in May.
Yes.
Jamie the Giant.
Fantastic.
I hope people liked it.
Do you enjoy it?
I enjoy it very much.
Did you like Jamie's little tribute to you, little mark of respect?
I like the tribute, but I also like listening to all the stories from Buried in May, you know?
Yeah,
to hear
yeah.
what really, you know, so that was interesting, you know?
Legend.
Especially when he had Kai Green as his most favorite physique.
Yes, he did. Yeah, I was a bit shocked by that as well. You're right there, mate.
Yep.
I was a bit shocked by that as well because I think when you assume that these guys are only going to be talking about, because he talked very heavily about the classic physique and sorry, we're just moving AJ along now. Was that hard, Chris, to push him along? Yes. I'll tell you. Okay. Yes, you assume he's going to talk about the kind of the Chris Bumsteads and the Sean Roden. He did talk about Sean Roden. Yeah. But yes, he said what was it with the question?
No, I was just surprised to hear that because we were talking about waists and how things have. How they were like all of a sudden they changed the look from the 80s to the 90s,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
And that he will bring up Kai Green as his favorite physique is just because people make fun of Phil Heath for having a big waist and all this, but Kai Green had it way before Phil.
Yeah, but 2009.
Correct, but that's a lot. He didn't say 2009.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that's fair enough. He did. That's fair.
So fair. Kai Green had what some people have a problem with since 2010, 11.
2010, yeah. I mean, I remember seeing Kai Green at the 2010 Olympia. That was when he dropped down to 8th place because he was kind of like moving up, and he beat Phil Heath at the 2009 Arnold Classic. For me, that was the all-time best Phil Heath.
Which one?
2009. Sorry. That was the all-time best Kai Green for me.
2009, yeah.
That was the combination. That was like when Ronnie at the 99 Olympia, where he had that combination of tiny waist, wasp waist, you know, the shoulder to waist ratio. These guys kind of got bigger, but did they necessarily get better?
Well, according to the placings, they did that.
Yeah, but I mean, personal preference, and I can see where Barry was coming from. I think, but still, that's still a shock.
That's what's a little bit the weird about bodybuilding, how you judge it, because all the bodybuilders, they say one thing: I felt my best, I looked my best when they were the lightest, when they were the youngest.
Yeah.
Dennis Wolf, remember he said his best look was 2007.
2007, yeah, when he got 5th place. That was his second Olympia. The year before, he hadn't even placed top 15. Yes, that's correct.
Correct.
Yes.
And a lot of other bodybuilders said when I was the youngest, the freshest, and the lightest, I looked the best. But then they get the worst placings.
Yeah.
When they get older, some injuries happen, but they get a lot bigger.
88.
They place a lot higher.
True.
Why is that?
I don't know, but 88 was also the year that was probably the best Rich Gaspari we ever saw. After that, because he was second 3 years in a row to Lee Haney. 89, he dropped to 4th. 1990, he dropped to 5th. And in 91, he dropped to 10th. And then he retired, and then he set up Gaspari Nutrition. And you all right there, mate?
Yeah, a little bit.
Good. And he's done pretty well ever since, hasn't he?
No, because but also but why is the reason you always get better placings when you get bigger?
Is that necessarily true?
That's always true. What
is it? No, is it? Not in every case.
90%.
I'm trying to think of someone where they look better. I've seen guys improve when they've come in. No, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
And the reason for that is just like Barry May said on our last show.
90.
What did he say?
Sorry, what did he say?
He said all the people want to see the freaks.
Yeah, but
didn't he see that?
Okay,
then
what's
say that?
Well, tell me your best ever version of Flex Wheeler.
But of course, but he wasn't big enough in '93 '93 when he was it 93 his best version?
You ask most people when they felt the best version of Flex Wheeler ever is, and they're either going to say 1998 Arnold Classic or 1993. 1998 it was a lot bigger, but I bet 70% of the people would say 93.
Yeah, but as it goes again, people, you don't win the shows if you're not the biggest almost, huh?
I don't know. I don't think that's true in every single case. I've seen guys when they try. Thing is, you've seen guys come in heavier, and sometimes they just come in softer. They don't necessarily become in bigger. They just come in heavier. Heavier doesn't always equate to being better.
But Phil Heath became bigger and bigger, correct?
Yes.
Compared to his 2008, 9, 10.
Well, there's another good example.
But then he didn't win.
Well, when's the best version you ever saw of Phil Heath?
Well, 2011.
2011, when he wasn't his biggest then, was he?
But nobody's gotten them big size then, and he was still in like he was big then also.
Yes,
but he wasn't. He was a lot bigger in 2006 when he started.
Who?
Phil Heath.
2006.
2005. 2006.
Hang on a minute. Are you saying Phil Heath was bigger in 2006 than he was in 2011?
No, 2011 he was bigger.
Oh right.
2005, 2006.
Yeah.
So he was still bigger when he started.
Yeah, but when people say the best all-time Phil Heath, most people say 2011, which was his third ever Olympia. He did 2008, 2010, 2011.
Yeah, but I'm saying you don't win the shows unless you get bigger.
Right.
So it's a must, isn't it? You do bodybuilding to win, don't you?
Yes, but necessarily physiques don't always, like I said, a bigger physique doesn't necessarily mean a better physique.
I know, but for the judges they do.
I feel like we're going back and forth.
But the judges love the bigger physiques.
Well, yeah, I suppose. But not if they start getting wide in the waist and the aesthetics start to go and the shape starts to go.
Like we're seeing what people are expecting now because Sean Roden won and Brandon Curry won and people are expecting it now to go back.
What do you think Sean Roden will bring this year? I don't think he's going to bring a bigger package. I don't think he has to. I think he'll move back. I think he'll slip down. I think he'll lose it if he comes in bigger this year.
He said when he won last year, he's going to bring the same condition but coming 10 or 15 pounds heavier.
Well, then he's not going to win.
First of all, he doesn't have time to come in 15 pounds bigger with the same condition. It's impossible.
He's only been back trained 2 weeks.
So how? No. But Sean, to gain we're not prep gurus, but to gain 15 pounds of real muscle in the same condition at age 44, it's impossible, isn't it?
AJ, they all say that.
Of course,
they say, "Oh, I'm going to be," and do you know what? I'll say it now. A lot of pros bullshit about their body weights.
Brandon Curry can gain some size and bring the.
Brandon Curry doesn't need to get bigger. He just needs to get more symmetrical and more detailed, and that could win in the Olympia.
A little bit added pounds to take out Roden would help a lot.
Disagree.
A little bit of extra, like oomph, just a little bit extra.
I think and so you think Ramy needs to put size on to move up?
Everybody knows this is not true. But this is different. But Brandon Curry doesn't have the size of Big Ramy.
He's got more fullness and roundness than he's got much better aesthetics. He's got like a different look to his muscle.
Brandon Curry does not have the same size as Big Ramy.
No, but he's got a better physique.
I know. I'm just saying that's why he does. But that's why he can get a little bit of extra muscle.
And another thing, it's not just about size; it's about muscle development.
Yes,
it's about muscular development.
Yeah. No, but Brandon Curry with a little bit of extra size and the same condition and better condition. Oh,
no, you're trolling.
Yes. Because Sean Roden he's got a big frame, huh?
Yes.
So if you add a little bit of more size, you look even more impressive next to Roden.
Sean was probably lighter last year when he won the Olympia than when he got third in 2012 and 2015. And he was smaller than when he won 2016, but he was more refined and more detailed. That's why he won.
Because he peaked for a change. Yeah,
he peaked. Well, he peaked. He peaked perfectly, peaked beautifully. On the Friday, I mean, like me and Ron were doing the wrap up for the Olympia outside, and it's like all he needs to do is try and hold on to that, because when someone peaks absolutely perfectly, everything's flickering, everything's popping.
The old rule is you got to bring your best. Well, how is it? You got to knock the current champion out to win on Miss Olympia.
Well, that's what he did.
Yeah. So I'm saying for Brandon Curry to knock Sean Roden out, it's not enough just to come in perfect condition. No. You've got to have some size, more size.
He needs to come in top to toe, side to side. His rear shots need to be all completely developed top to toe, because there's a bit of a disparity between the back. He needs more back detail. He needs to balance out a little bit more in the legs, so he's complete from every angle. Otherwise, he will not beat Sean Roden. But if he does that, he could probably come in lighter and look better at the Olympia than he did last year. Brandon Curry.
No.
Come on.
No, you don't win the this Miss Olympia is the big boy game. You can't come in.
So you're telling me if he doesn't balance out his legs and he comes in even tighter and his waist comes in, making his shoulder to waist ratio look even more crazy, and there's more detail.
He already told me on DM he's going to add size.
Oh, okay. Oh well, then I'll just get my coat then, shall I?
He said he's going to Kuwait again. He's going to add in a couple of 5-6 pounds of extra size, coming even more shredded. He's going to knock the champ out. Well,
if he starts playing the scales game, then he won't be top 3. He won't. Brandon,
impossible.
You're watching. I know you're watching. You know what you need to do. Abdullah knows what.
Add a couple of little bit of extra beef, and then. Arnold Brazil, yes, that's your favourite show ever, isn't it? So tell me, what was it the 2014 Brazil?
Yeah, do you remember that show? With
Chris, have you heard something back to a little bit of wrestling game? Have you heard about the Montreal screw job?
No.
The Montreal screw. You remember when Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart in Canada?
It's a great
Survivor Series.
I think it's an adult film. I
do remember that.
When Bret Hart didn't tap, but the referee said you tapped because he had to quit wrestling and went to WWF.
Yeah.
So there's a show in Brazil in 2014 we call the famous Arnold Brazil screw job.
So who do you think you deserve to win that one then?
So there was a show in Brazil 2014 with Lionel Beek, the Pride of Africa. He was...
Where's he from?
Montenegro, is that what you said? Remember you said Montenegro. Oh, come on, Montenegro.
I'm sorry, I was always very good at geography in school as well.
No, Arnold, we can go back to what happened there, but first, it's Arnold Brazil.
Yes, because...
It's last film. Tell us the audience how they film it.
We are filming this on the Tuesday before the Arnold Brazil, but this goes out on the Monday, the day after, or 2 days after the Arnold Brazil on the Monday.
Yep.
So we're talking about a show that for us hasn't happened yet.
Yep.
But you, the viewers, are watching. Yes, you'll know what's happened now. So hold us to what we're going to say.
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen?
So we're going to give a full prediction. Well, this will be out after that, so we don't have to say what we're going to.
We can give a rundown.
So it's very few people doing the show. I'm very disappointed.
Yeah.
It's Tamir El Gandhi, isn't it? And the guys who have. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yes, Buendia.
It's only 10 people doing the show.
Oh, I know. Why is that? Why do you think that is? Especially the Arnold Classic. Especially now that there's some with the other side, the elite side.
And we had to
you really want to entice them back. So you really want to encourage these guys to do the Arnold Classic. So the other elite ones are going to have more. Because we want to see them all back with the Pro League.
And just like that, what's that guy called? The English Perrault? Is it Perrault, the detective? Who? Inspector Perrault, or whatever his name.
Oh, Poirot.
You have to be like him to find the lists of the show. There's nowhere.
Poirot.
It's like you can't even find the list anyway.
I know. It's out. It is out now.
Okay.
And also, Akim Williams and Lionel Biecki. And Lionel Biecki's name have been added, so they are definitely doing the show.
So we have Akim doing it, Biecki doing it. Who else?
Pride of Brazil. Rafael Brandao, 25 years old.
We have Juan Morel, who's been a little bit... He needs to do something now to regain the...
I've seen some video on his Instagram.
Mostly vacuum shots.
Yeah, it's all up... Yeah, he got vacuum with the guy.
I'm not so sure why we are so talking so much about vacuum all the time.
I said on the MD forum, I said, I don't even understand what the fuss is all about this vacuum thing. And it's how... somebody said that they want to have it as a compulsory pose.
No.
It was put forward for the classic, and I'm like... I couldn't give a shit about vacuum.
We're going to go back to but just one quick note. Do you remember when Arnold asked Kai Green to give him the vacuum shot?
Oh, trolling.
Why would he do that?
I don't know.
Do you think Arnold wanted to diss Kai Green? Or do you think he doesn't even know what's going on, so he just said, give me a vacuum?
Was that 2016 when Cedric got second and he said Cedric should have won because he had a better posing
that was
routine?
the year... That
was 2016.
No, he said it to Kai. I'm not sure if he said it at Arnold Classic Ohio, because Kai won, 2 shows. It was Arnold Classic Australia.
No, it would have been. Oh, okay. I see. Right. Okay. Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it was Arnold Classic Ohio, because the first time he dissed Kai Green by saying,
"Yeah,
well, you won with the posing, eh?
Yeah,
you didn't win by your physique."
Oh God!
Remember that show?
Arnold just comes out with it.
And then next year he said to Kai, "Hey, can you hit me a vacuum?" And Kai doesn't do vacuums.
He said that to George Peterson, didn't he?
and
it's like, you went, oh, you've hit an amazing... You got him mixed up with another competitor.
And he also said to the diss of all disses. I think this is probably the worst diss I've heard this year.
Yeah.
When he said to Janet Leigh, How do you say Janet?
Janet Lehoug.
Lehoug. I say Leho.
Lovely lady.
Yeah.
Classy.
Janet Lehoug.
The bikini winner.
Is that a German? Lehoug? Is that German?
She's Lehoug. I've got it on my. I've actually got a video clip on my phone where I was filming Ron Harris interviewing her. She had a husband there and her 2 children, and then Ron says, "How do you say her name?" She said Lehoug, which is a bit of a mouthful.
What type of name is Lehoug? Which nationality is that, Chris? Lehoug.
I have not a clue.
Anyway, he said to Janet Lehoug.
Janet.
She said to Janet. He said to Janet.
J-Dog.
So Janet, do you train with weights?
Oh God! Do you think that was deliberate? Or do
you just won the bikini classic, and Arnold, the governor, maybe I don't know if she. Most people have Arnold as a role model, like the reason why you started. And he says, "So, Janet, do you train with weights? Can you imagine?"
He can't.
And she was like, "Oh, hell yeah!"
And do you know what? Arnold can be very funny, but sometimes he really needs to get some new questions. Have you seen it? Everyone's like clapping, there's a real buzz and the place is going off, and he goes, how many hours a day do you train? It's kind of real trolly questions.
Is there an underlying punchline to this, that he doesn't like bikini? Or is it actually just a question, doesn't he know that the bikini girls train with weight?
Just don't know. I don't know. Do you think that's a bit of a dig at the class? Because I've said many times
Janet, you train with weights?
AJ, I've said many times about how I feel about the bikini class. It's to the point now where they literally don't really have any muscle. And I think they should have some.
Some size.
They should have some. Yeah. In fact, do you remember when... do you want me to tell you a funny Arnold classic story? At the first Arnold Europe in 2011.
Should we go back to our Brazil and then tell the story?
I'll probably forget, though.
Okay, then tell the story.
I'm getting old. When I have a story in my head, I have to tell it. I'll tell you the Triple H story later as well. And I don't think I've told you that one.
No.
Yes, I was doing the coverage with Flex Wheeler.
Yeah.
And there's 2 funny stories, actually, so sit tight. And we were doing the wrap-up, and then we were talking about the amateur show, and he said, and he completely threw me, where it's never actually happened where I've actually had to stop an interview because I've been so shocked. And he said there was an Argentinian girl called Inga Mola. She was Argentinian, very pretty girl. She had very cat-like eyes. I remember she really burned in my. She's still competing now, and she won the Arnold Europe amateur bikini. And then Flex Wheeler says, "Oh, did you see that girl that won?" I says, "Oh yeah, she was beautiful. She's fantastic." He said, "She's 14." 14 years old.
So you're on that R. Kelly train, huh, Giles?
No, I wasn't. And I just went, and it kind of I thought, oh my God, I've just said this girl's beautiful. I don't think I've said sexy or anything like that. But, this is a class where they're sticking their asses out. And I was saying that about a 14.
She was 14.
And I just went, whoa. I said, stop. I said, we've got to start again. I said, because that just made me it
feel like a...
For several reasons. It was just so weird, the fact that it was a girl. And the fact and then I was starting to think, well, when did she start training? And
10.
when did she start? And how quickly did she get through the national championships to then be invited to the Arnold Europe to be in that position? So anyway, it was after that. And I remember there was a big thread on the MD forum, musculardevelopment.com, Noble Forum.
Bettiona was probably on that one, huh?
And there was a huge fuss about this. And eventually the NPC in America from then on raised the age of the bikini girls, minimum age to compete anywhere, even in the regionals, 16 years old.
They still have children championships in the elite.
That's weird, isn't it?
11-year-old girls doing the bikini pose.
That's a bit odd. No, they don't do that.
They don't do that.
I hope they don't. Anyway,
I don't know.
That's like those creepy kid pageants you see in America.
Hey, those...
the kids with all the makeup on. It's just... Have you seen the documentaries?
Oh, with the...
That I can't watch. That gives me... And you see some of the people in the audience and they're just... And the weird parent...
I don't know if there's a lot of
it's weird.
pedos in the audience. Isn't it mostly...
just weird, pushy parents who just want to...
just crazy parents going crazy?
Yeah.
Like, come on!
Fucking weird.
Yeah, but the one thing that I like about you guys in the UK, you take it for granted. In Norway, we don't have shit.
Yeah.
So in America, I just like when people go for the dreams other than just going to school or going to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to become the next top like Tyra Banks and Cindy Crawford. You know those things?
I see where you're going with this.
I just like the and as I don't know with you, but I didn't have 2 parents growing up. You know.
Yeah.
So to have 2 parents really investing in what you're doing, I would love it.
Okay.
But you don't want your girl, if you have a daughter, to be put on with a dress and makeup at age 7 and walk around on stage. But
going back to this girl, this was in the time when bikini had just started and the girls were quite muscular. So she had really good abs and she had development to her quads. And I was thinking...
I think she's using some enhanced things at
14 years old, 14. So anyway, she's actually, she's done the Elite Arnold Europe, I think, last year because I recognised her name. And
she won?
I don't know. I saw her name come up as one of the competitors because she's 21 now. And I looked at the time and I thought, that's definitely her because you had 7-8 years.
How was it physique look now?
It's not dramatically that different. Oh, honestly, she's a little bit, but I mean, she doesn't need to be because it's bikini. But now bikini's gone backwards, so I don't even know why. I see someone like her. I'm surprised she didn't just move up to figure because by the time she's 18 and she's looking that good at 14 muscularity wise, she's probably just had to stop training.
So now global
weight training. Like
global muscle now is on the rise, very much so.
On the rise.
So we're going all out on a lot of different fields, a lot of exciting things coming up the next month. Yeah. Just to say that. But one thing we're gonna do is reach out and try to get people who's involved. More like everybody in the bodybuilding industry, not just pure bodybuilding. So when we get a bikini girl on, I want Ashley, you want somebody else. We'll see who we get gonna be. No, we both want Ashley on.
Yeah, Ashley be good.
I hope you have this. We can have this debate with the bikini girl we have on.
Yeah,
about because you think they're way too skinny. I want more muscle on them. I hope we have to be polite, of course, to them.
Yeah, very, very
but
polite.
I would really want to see what they think because they're the one doing it.
Yeah. Because didn't Ashley pull out of one of the shows because she said she had
so here Chris is doing Chris,
no, it's not her. That's not her.
You're getting $20,000 a week. You better do something.
Inga Mola.
But still, that's 14. A 14-year-old Brazilian teen.
Okay, press play. Let's see what this is.
And that was uploaded in 2017.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, shit. So she's...
Press it. Let's see.
So they've gone back on it, really?
So she's 14. Oh. Let's see if she does the bikini.
I don't actually want to watch.
Stop. Are you trolling me?
No, I can't watch that. That's not... That doesn't sit right with me.
That's the bikini. She does
That's not right, that.
What?
It's not right.
No. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. I can't actually watch that. That is that's R. Kelly territory. I was gonna say
he is not found guilty yet. Every man is innocent until isn't that true, Giles?
AJ, hasn't he filmed himself having sex with underage girls and posted it? So there's something we call bang to rights.
All I know, he was in court. He was found not guilty. So we have to stick to that.
Should we stay away from...
My mind's telling me no!
Should we stay away from the topic to avoid libel, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Nobody cares what bodybuilding people say.
I was going to mention Jimmy Savile then, but I don't think we'll go there.
At least that's a troll.
That is bad.
And Gary Glitter. Have you seen Gary Glitter in Thailand?
No, I don't want to go down that. It's like it was saying he was having sex with dead bodies, and it was like, come on, the guy. Okay, I appreciate the guy's not here. I appreciate the guy's not here to defend himself, but isn't that a bit... I mean, like, he's not...
we're completely off. Let's get off that topic. Okay. No, anyway, back to... you can still watch it to give a review. This is not
No, that's not right. But the thing is, they said that they were going to reduce it. They were going to have it so it was minimum age 16.
But when you didn't know the age of the girl, you liked it, huh?
Well, yeah. That's why I stopped filming, because I was like, whoa! You know? It's like when you're single and you'll see a pretty girl on the street and you'll think, you'll see her walking from behind, you think, oh, and then she turns around and she's like 12 or something. You're like, whoa! You just feel that,
That's
you have
probably
to go.
what happened to R. Kelly too, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, Arnold Brazil. So we have Beke.
Your Honor.
Beke. Juan Morel.
Yeah, Brandeo.
Brandeo. Come on.
Do you think Brandeo can win it?
So, first, give me your top 3.
Brandeo.
To win.
You said top 3.
Okay.
Calm down.
Yeah. I was like, what?
He's very hyper today, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's all hyped up. I gave him some green tea this morning, and he's all hyper.
This morning green tea.
Akim, Juan, and Rafael. I feel like I've missed somebody out.
Hello, is it me you're looking for? Beke.
Oh, Beke, yeah. Will he make it though?
He's
got his passport sorted from Montenegro.
Redemption. It's gonna be redemption.
Has he gone to the Montenegro passport office?
It's going to be a close call.
Thank you, Chris.
It's going to be Beke for the win.
Okay.
He's going to take out Juan Morel and Akim. He's going to take out Akim and Juan Morel.
He has the potential to do so.
He's going to do it this time.
Okay, well, thing is with you, you're not a fair weather fan.
No.
You're someone that I respect that about you.
Beck going all the way in this time.
You respect, balls deep. You respect all the, the way that...
Balls deep?
That's an English expression.
Yes.
Balls deep.
It's a cricket. It's a cricket. It's about rubbing your balls.
Oh.
And
in where I'm from, balls deep means you're doing something else.
Isn't that right, Chris?
Yeah.
No, but Beck, okay, but Brandao, he's back to Juan Morel. This vacuum thing. What's is this a new? What's going on here?
I can't give a shit about the vacuum. I think it's impressive that a guy. No. It's impressive that a guy that size can freaking do a vacuum. It's very impressive. I just don't see the futility and the. Like it's like, oh, that'll move him ahead. I just don't see a place. If Sean Roden did, imagine if Sean Roden did a vacuum in his front of a bicep, it would spoil the. I don't think it really. Luke Sando does a vacuum in the front of a bicep, and it does look good.
Juan Morel and John De La Rosa were really on the rise, really in 2015, 16.
Yeah. Yes,
both have. What can I say? Not reached the potential maybe expected of them.
Yeah.
John De La Rosa now has switched scenery. You think Juan Morel needs to do something different to start winning shows again?
I don't know. His legs, though. The legs. There's a bit of... The legs from the front don't look great. But if you look at him a few years ago, his legs were good. So his legs have regressed. So I'm thinking maybe there's some knee problems
Didn't he tell Ron Harris he didn't have a problem with his legs?
Yeah, he was showing him photos and he was saying, look, he was trying to... And it's like, well, yeah, but you can't... If I look at that and think, oh, he's got a thick waist, which he hasn't, but if I said, there's no way you can convince me that doesn't look thick or he doesn't look symmetrical because it's what I see, it's what I perceive, it's my opinion. You can't, it's there in front of you and that's what you think. You can't say, well, if you look at this picture, so it's not, I don't know, it's...
So just to make quick, top 3 was for you was...
Akim, Raphael, and I probably would swap Bieki over Juan Morel because I think Bieki's a more complete physique.
Even with the hamstrings that you don't see?
Yeah, I know. It's just I just hope he's made some improvements. If he's made the improvements, because Becky is bloody impressive. Really impressive.
You didn't like to see him with the beer in his hand in his Instagram video, did you?
No, I didn't like that. Sitting around the fire with his mates drinking beer. I thought, well,
Arnold used to do that with Franco too.
Yeah, well, they'd all be doing
wine.
They'd be doing that backstage before they went on stage.
Yeah?
Yeah. A little campfire backstage.
No, Arnold Brazil 2014, man.
Yeah, that's really hurt you, that, wasn't it?
That hurt.
Did you ever get over it? How much therapy did you get?
It's when your favorite bodybuilder finally reaches your peak. Like Lionel's my favorite.
He did look
good. He finally made his peak. Listen, when you finally, like for people rooting for Alexander Fedorov or people who don't what's it called, Roman Fritz, and they finally peak.
Yeah.
You want them to really win then,
And have you noticed whenever Lionel posts the best pictures of him, it's always because I always recognize the lighting. It's always from that show.
Because he peaked. He was smoking the lineup, remember? It wasn't even close with the other guys.
Yeah. So how
and he got 4th.
So AJ, how do you think
that's 4th?
I know, that's bad.
Not second, he got 4th.
So how do you think
Scandal.
How do you think that happened? What do you think was responsible for that? What? Maybe, I don't know, maybe there was...
Everybody knows is Lee Thompson going crazy.
Oh,
Lee Thompson.
Lee Thompson, I've not heard that name.
The founder of... Okay. Oh, Lee Thompson, man. Can you imagine? Huh? Oh,
what would you do if you walked in now?
Slap him.
No. Okay. Would it be a front or a back?
No. But Lee Thompson, I don't understand what went wrong. He got fired, obviously, after that show.
Yeah. It was a while after that.
Yeah, but that was it.
I saw Lee Thompson go off twice at people.
What have you seen Lee
This
Thompson
was in 2012, and Steve Weinberger couldn't make that Grand Prix tour. It was the Prague show, the British Grand Prix. And Lee was asked to be the head judge and take over. And I think the power went to his head a little bit.
A little bit.
I mean, he was over the top. It was a response to one of the judges that wasn't judging but had his blazer on, and he ran to the stage because he was telling one of his guys that he knew in the 212 to just, when he was backstage when he was in the back of the stage in the lineup, to hold himself up more. So he wasn't like running from the judges table, but he was running over and saying, he won't mention his name. And he goes, just hold yourself up and more. So anyway, Lee stands up, and this was in front of everyone. And he goes, you, get it. And he was screaming, effing, going, you motherfucker, you fucking don't do that. And I was like, mate, I thought, and everyone was kind of like thinking, this is awkward. No, listen, because what he could have done was said, right, you know, if you got your blazer on and you're representing, don't go and try and coach the competitors. Because he wasn't coaching him, he was just giving him a bit of friendly advice. But he wasn't on that judging panel for that class. He could have done it quietly and said, mate, come on, you know, that could get us into hot water or whatever. That's just not it's not how we do things. And instead he went completely overboard. And he did the same in Prague with somebody else. One of the judges, in between judging, leant back. This guy didn't speak English. He leant back on his chair and he was talking to his wife, who was also a judge in Czechoslovakian. So there was no conferring, there was nothing fishy going on. And again, he kind of stood up and he just went crazy. And it was so disproportionate and over the top. And it was very embarrassing. I felt bad for the guy, actually.
One thing here is like weird people like you and me, especially, we can't especially me, but I don't like talking bad about people with facts that are not accurate if they're not in my face.
Well, I saw this with my own eyes. This is not secondhand information.
So just to let you, when it comes to this Lee Thompson, just to tell you the facts, what happened.
Yeah.
When he got fired from the Pro League.
Yeah.
He didn't leave, he got fired.
Yeah.
He started a new federation. I don't even want to say the name on there because it's not even. He made a video the same day at the Mr. Olympia contest. 2016 or 17, I'm not sure. 16.
No, don't like that.
He made a video where that was the year Kai Green didn't want to do the Olympia, remember?
Yeah.
And Kai Green didn't give a reason for why he didn't want to do the Olympia. He just said he didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And he tried
2016.
He tried to say that he wasn't allowed, but the point is he was allowed to do it.
Yes, he was.
Yes, but we can say here he was allowed to do the Olympia.
But he had to sign the contract.
He refused to do it for whatever reasons. We know the reasons. We can't tell it here.
I know the reason.
Yeah, but that's private information. So the point is, you want to say it? No, you don't want to say it. You want to say the reason? No, don't say it. Don't say it.
I just,
No, don't say it. The point is, Lee Thompson made. You're still looking at the guy. You want to say it? Don't say it. Yeah, no. So he made a video with Kai Green. You know, remember Kai Green was out in the crying out in the
car park. Yeah.
Car park.
Okay, let's do that again. Okay, more tears this time.
No. So Kai Green was crying out in the car lot saying he can't do the Olympia. Lee Thompson put that in his own YouTube video as an introduction to his new federation.
That's just so pathetic.
So people thought Kai Green was joining his federation. And then I saw the ultimate insult.
What?
I saw Tony Freeman at that federation.
Oh, did you? Oh my God.
In an empty arena, talking to people like there were people in the audience, but no people in the audience.
Was it like a Scientology convention?
So, Scientology, hey, that's some smart. They making money, man.
Oh, don't you.
Maybe we should start our own religion and make some money, bro.
No, I was listening to Joe Rogan, that girl, she was Scientology. Oh my God.
Leah Remini?
Yeah. It was, check it out. It's a Joe Rogan podcast. It was it was quite a recent one. Listening to it on the drive back from London the other week. It was fantastic, yeah.
And Tony Freeman was there talking about this is the federation I want to be at, and it was just it didn't last, of course.
You didn't like it.
And now this same Lee Thompson started a new organization, which it's a church organization, bodybuilding church organization.
Okay.
Where they pray and they bodybuild inside the church, and it's just like wow.
What, they train inside the church?
Yeah, something like that.
So it's like a little.
I have no idea.
Like a Sunday school barbell church club.
This Lee Thompson, man, it was weird. But to open a new federation, taking out Kai Green's video, that has nothing to do with his organization.
It's completely taken out of context, and it's disrespectful to Kai. It's nothing to do with him. It could be Kai Green could have got a lot of shit for that, and unfairly so. You know, it's that's trolling of the highest level.
So last time I'm going to ask this question: will Kai Green return, Giles?
No, absolutely not. It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
He's not interested. He's doing plenty of ebooks. He's got loads of different projects on the go, and I think he seems busy. He seems happy. He's still maintaining a lot of size, but I 100% do not see him coming back, and I think people should
stop asking that.
Stop asking that, because it's taking away attention and respect away from the guys that are actually competing. It's like, oh, is Dennis Wolf going to come back? Is Kai Green going to come back? You know, these guys are done now. They are retired for different reasons for different reasons. And I think we just need to focus on, like a lot of people spend so much time looking back going, oh, the 90s was so amazing. The 90s were amazing, but give some more respect and give a bit more attention to the guys that are actually getting off their asses and getting on stage, because you've got to be in it to win it.
As you are... You're not,
old.
So you are a generation over me.
It's a very polite way of saying ancient.
Yeah. Do you feel the late 80s generation did get a lot of less hype than the 90s generation? Because
get what? Sorry.
Less hype than the 90s generation.
Well,
because the late 80s is not as much talked about as the 90s.
No, they are.
No.
Look at the success of Lee Labrada, Rich Gaspari, Barry DeMay.
It's not the same as the
Lee
90s.
Haney.
I know. Really? 90s is bigger. Come on, 90s.
Yeah, that's when bodybuilding absolutely exploded.
I know.
But in some ways, if you listen to Barry DeMay, in some ways, it really was. A lot of people say that, like, was it? I hope I'm not misquoting. Was it Milos Sarcev who said in MD? He said the bodybuilding or something died or something when, like, Dorian came along, because it took the sport to a whole new level.
Obviously, we don't agree with that.
But then it took it to there, and then Ronnie came along and took it to a level like completely blew people's minds. It's almost like it was only going to be downhill after that, surely, because you can't really get anything more shocking. And I mean, the human body can only go so far, and I think Ronnie took it to a level that was almost inconceivable.
Let's say it here. Ronnie Coleman is the greatest bodybuilder that's ever lived.
Ask Phil Heath and he'll say yes.
Ask anybody.
He would. No, I think everyone would agree.
You cannot say anybody else.
Everyone would
I don't
agree.
want to hear Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No, Arnold was the Ronnie of his time. He was the iconic.
Because Sergio Oliva was as good as him.
Yeah, but Sergio Arnold kind of was a little bit after. I know they overlapped and they did compete against each other, but you've got pioneers of a sport. You had Larry Scott, the first guy, one of the first guys with 20-inch arms, him and Harold Poole, and then you had like Sergio, and then Arnold came along, and then it was Lee Haney, who literally was unstoppable for 8 years. No one even came close.
Is Lee Haney the greatest representative when it comes to you can't say when it comes to moral, because
morality?
Yeah, but just like,
I know what you're saying. I know. You're not being disrespectful to the guys, but I think in terms of everything he stood for and what he stands for, I can see. Yeah.
And
I can see
all his charity work after that. All this, everything he's doing now is training with kids.
Yeah.
Training with seniors. Yeah. Opening like.
And it's not for show.
Sometimes,
I mean, let's be fair.
Lee Haney.
Let's be fair. Sometimes you see these pros that will do the odd thing for that kind of thing, and you know they're just doing it for one day.
Yeah, and just to get some PR on Instagram.
Yeah, and get some, yeah. So,
but Lee Haney is definitely,
he's the real deal. Yeah. So, yeah.
And he knows bodybuilding, and he knows how to. Have you seen how when he critiques the sport now? I like it also when he says he lacks the eye of the tiger. I don't want to say who it is, but
Yes, I know the one you're talking about.
Because he sees those things, and everybody knows it's true. No, Lee Haney, man.
Fantastic.
Oh.
I met him a few times, actually. Lovely guy.
You ever think he should... It was one of his 7-8 wins for you he should have lost?
Oh, absolutely not. No. I don't know Dorian, because Dorian beat him after the prejudging at 91.
Dorian, forget about it.
Dorian nearly beat him at the 1991 Olympia, the last Olympia.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm saying, even though Dorian beat him at the judging, Lee Haney, for me, still was the clear winner. Do you think, I've always wondered, actually, if Lee Haney's been asked this question many times, if he'd done the 1992 Olympia, would he have won it? And I think if he'd have looked as good as he did at 91, I think he would have. But then, 1993, Dorian took, like I said, like Ronnie did in 2003, took the sport to another level of size, conditioning. I just, if there's one Olympia I wish I could go back in time and go to, what would be if you could go back to any Olympia and watch and witness, what would it be?
2003.
Yeah.
Ronnie Coleman.
That's the one I decided not to go to.
Because you want to see that up close, yeah?
Yeah. I think 2003 or 1993, it's a flip of a coin for me.
But I thought the most controversial win to Lee Haney was the year with the drug testing.
Oh, 1990. No, he still won it. He still won
Yeah,
it.
I know. See, okay, so that wasn't.
Yeah, but everyone was down. Everyone was down in body weight. Yeah, Mike Christian looked good. It was fourth. Sean Ray looked very good, but
drug testing in bodybuilding. What's stupid?
well, Ben Fatto said he was natural for that show.
I don't care what they say. Come on, why would you have a bodybuilding show and have it drug tested? There's no point.
I know. I hated that time. I hated. And then I remember watching the 1991 Olympia, and everybody was just huge and freaky and shredded.
But Verdi didn't talk too much about WBF.
Yeah, I thought he was going to really go into that, but he kind of. I was expecting him to talk. I was expecting him to talk for maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes on that, and he just went. Yeah.
Did you like it?
What?
The WBF thing?
Well, I remember following it. I bought the Bodybuilding Lifestyle magazine. I bought every issue. I watched the shows. I thought the second one, when they drug tested it, was shocking. I think they did it to kill it off that way. Did you see some of the routines? They were it was like Mike. Do you see Mike Quinn and Danny Padilla with them like slapping the giant and.
I've talked to.
He was chasing a giant and he was slapping him, and there was these big mushrooms on stage. Yeah, look at Chris's face.
I've talked to a lot of old timers
it was bad.
Old timers in Norway who are like 60 years old now.
Yeah,
and they told me they loved it. They loved it, and they were in Atlanta watching it.
Oh no!
And they told me they loved it.
I tell you, the two that did look good in that drug tested ones were Tony Pearson, Jetman, and Aaron Baker. Aaron Baker looked.
How many times have we did this when we mentioned Aaron Baker?
Aaron Baker.
Aaron Baker.
yeah, I like Aaron Baker.
Aaron Baker's a good guy. Eh?
He was kind of like an unsung hero, really. He deserves to be up there with the Flex Wheelers and the Chris. And I think in many of the real fans' eyes, he is, because he was so good.
Speaking of drugs, very nice. we have a guy who's overwon his addiction. Antoine Vaillant.
Vaillant, yes.
He's gonna be our guest tonight.
Yes, fantastic. Did I can you pull a picture up I just sent you on Messenger?
Antoine Vaillant.
Yeah, I can't believe the improvements this guy's making.
Oh.
Absolutely.
It's a good story because a lot of people in bodybuilding have either had a problem with recreational drugs or have it or still has a...
No, not still. No, I did.
No, a lot of people reach out to us on Instagram and tell us that they used to have a problem with it and they overcome it with fitness or It doesn't have to be forget about that. Look at this picture now.
Yeah. That's how I think that was last week. That was...
so for people on Pandora, nobody knows what Pandora is.
Actually, that on the screen looks even freakier. I can't believe that. That looks amazing.
Look at this.
Do you think anyone's beaten him at Toronto?
Nathan De Asha, yeah, maybe.
Oh, yeah, shit. That'd be fantastic seeing Nathan De Asha up against that. That's impressive.
Look at this.
He's looking in really good condition as well for the start.
And you guys talk a lot about Ian Valliere too?
Yeah.
Isn't he doing it?
He's doing it, yeah.
So there's a lot of potential winners here.
The Toronto is going to be a really good show.
Look at this physique, man.
Look at the waist.
Now we're looking at, for people who doesn't see YouTube, we're watching that.
That's not a Photoshop waist either. That is a proper tiny little waist on him. I mean, that waist looks like 32 inches to me. And I mean, look at the shoulders. They're bigger than his head.
Oh, this is bodybuilding,
No,
this is proper bodybuilding.
That's impressive. That's like old school aesthetics with the modern size without the old...
How tall? 6'6"? He's 6?
What?
Not 6'6", he's 6 feet, isn't he?
Yeah, he's about 6 foot tall. Yeah, he's tall. Yeah, he's tall.
300 pounds in off season.
And as you'll see in this interview, he's got a fantastic personality. Very funny, very good, very good sense of humor. I like that. I like a good sense of humor, as you know.
How long are we going for now?
We've got about 10 minutes left.
40. Oh, so we can give some shout outs.
Yep. Oh yeah, shout outs. Yes. Can I go first?
Yes.
Okay, Chris, I'll go to... could you go bring up Jamie, please?
Oh, Jamie the Giant was good, by the way.
Fantastic. Jamie Dorigo, this is a British...
Oh!
This is a British pro. He turned pro at one of the NPC international shows last...
Let me look at that picture there to the right. Yeah.
Look at that. He's a 212. Ooh. He's just come 4th place at the New Zealand Pro. It was only a few weeks after he turned pro. He did what Derek Lunsford did in 2017. So went straight in, literally on the same prep, went straight into a pro show.
Say his name again. I did Jamie
Dorigo.
He's Spanish.
Yeah, fantastic physique. No, he's English.
It's not English.
Whatever. But fantastic physique. Really puts out a lot of good quality content as well. He takes a video guy with him, and I like things like 50,000 followers. He's Nice aesthetic, small waist. He knows how to pose.
Oh, looks very, very elegant.
And you know what I like? I really like his enthusiasm. I mean, he's already... Normally after a contest, the guys go quiet and they go, oh, just need a break. He says he can't wait. He was at the Muscle Contest Island the other weekend, and he says, I can't... Watching these 212s, he says, I just want to get back on stage again. He says, I'm so enthusiastic. So he loves it. Look at his shoulders, arms. Very, very nice. It's almost like he's like classic with another 25 pounds. Isn't he? He looks like
a classic guy there to the right. Yeah,
kind of the same.
Not bigger, but
similar sort of qualities that Rafael Buendia has got. Because Rafael is about 25 pounds over what he would be if he could do the classic. But it kind of embodies the qualities of a classic.
Imagine how good Brandau's going to be when he gains slowly, just keeps it and just.
But I mean, just literally, it's scary to think how good he will be, injury free, and if he does everything properly, and he takes rest in between shows, and by the time he's 30 years old.
How old is Jamie?
He's young. He's only in his 20s. Yeah, he was a junior a few years ago, so he's
very marketable look also, huh?
Yeah, he's only in his 20s. He's sponsored by AD, Project AD.
Yeah.
That's Anabolic Designs, a guy called Joe Bindley. Another British guy who's got a very successful supplement brand, so he's doing really well.
Looks great.
Yeah, fantastic look. Yeah, got good head of hair, I'm sure you've noticed.
Yeah, nice beard. Look at the legs.
Fantastic, yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, good guy as well. Seems I only reached out to him a few weeks ago for my Muscle News Weekly show, and yeah, good guy. Yeah. So, okay, your shout out. Look, see, liked by Giles Tiger.
That's not mine. We can do her later.
Okay.
So this is my guy from the gym, Wilson Silva.
Yeah.
He's doing classic in Portugal. He's from Portugal, moved to Norway. Mm-hmm. He is, go up, let's see, what do you think?
Was this guy on your stories when you were helping to pose?
Wilson Silva. No, this is press one of their videos. Let's see what he has. What do you think about the condition?
I thought he was naked then.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
He's a month away from a show in Portugal.
Sorry, he's doing classic.
Classic, yeah.
Yeah. Looks good. Is he from your gym?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Socks there. Good socks.
This is probably for his. I almost said something. So he is a good guy from my gym.
Yeah.
But he's very dedicated.
Okay.
And he trains 2 times a day.
He's getting his face
every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good guy.
How long has he been training for? How old is he?
He is 26 or 27.
Okay, good condition.
Yeah.
Have you noticed the European guys get really good condition?
So he's very dedicated. He's always in good condition. No cheat days, nothing.
Yeah. What's the Norwegian diet like? Is it high in? Is it like a Mediterranean
But he's not
diet?
Norwegian. He's from Portugal.
Yeah, but he lives in Norway.
So he doesn't eat Norwegian food.
Why not?
Because he's from Portugal.
He's got access to Norwegian
in the gym, he eats a lot of fish.
Yeah, I was about to say fish.
Yeah, a lot of fish.
Because Norway, it's a lot of fishing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very. That's the only cheap thing in Norway we have that's a little bit cheaper. Is salmon.
Salmon, yeah.
Compared to other countries.
Good salmon fishing, isn't it?
Yeah. So this is rise to the top.
Yep, rise to the top.
Who's your other shout out?
Natalia. Oh, sorry. If we can we go to Charles, please? This was one of my favourite guys to follow on social media, and he's been on my show, Muscle Weekly, for minutes. Look at that double bicep. That's how he's looking now. You know, Goon messaged me and he said, Charles, have you seen how Charles Griffin is looking now?
When was his last show? When is his next show?
The last show he did was Olympia, and he took a 13th place.
Yeah, he was a little bit disappointed with that, I would think.
Well, I was hoping he'd make top 10, but I mean, still 13th place. He beat Ian Valliere. He beat Sergio. He beat...
I didn't even see Sergio on Friday. The screen went out.
Oh, the bloody...
I heard...
Yeah.
What
streaming service.
Oh,
look at that.
Oh, freaky.
He's like I said to him, I messaged him, I said, you're like a brown Hulk. It's a lot of laughing faces. He is.
Remember that time just dissed Sisu's dad? He said...
Who? Sisu?
Yeah, he asked if his dad was...
that was that was one of my many jokes that fell rather
and we won't even say the name. Remember that guy?
Flatlined.
You remember you had to edit out the thing with the other...
don't start. That was a genuine mistake.
Charles Griffin, that's a freaky guy, huh?
I like Charles. Good personality. And he's like, if you look at him, like the progression he's made from last year, the year before, he's like doing a Derek Lunsford. He's really progressing.
And
fast.
He has that DMX rapper. You know DMX? You remember? He has that DMX rapper voice.
I used to ride one of those.
DMX is a rapper.
Oh, I thought you said BMX.
Oh, no. Oh, look at this.
That's a beast.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, Charles Griffin.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
You don't want to bump into him in the prison showers, do you? Yes, so Charles Griffin. What's this IFBB? He's got a tattoo IFBB look. That's dedicated, you know?
See how he tried to go over the prison thing and try to suck up to the IFBB now?
Ooh. Yes, so yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Charles back on stage this year. So I like it. I like his conditioning. I like the guy. I think he's cool, and I just I really want to see him up in that top 10 Olympia this year because he's one of these guys that you know is going to be moving up.
My other shout out is to Christian Mittli, another guy from Norway. Okay, so this guy.
So there's a lot of Norwegian guys there.
Look at the guy. Look at the middle there. Go in the middle. Up.
That's Justin Compton.
He's getting prepped by Compton now.
Oh, okay.
So he's 6'7".
Shit.
And 340 pounds.
He looks like one of those strongman guys. You know, he's like a lean strongman, isn't he?
Yeah. So he's huge.
Yeah.
So he's been thrown out of Norway now.
Why?
Because okay, so he got what can I say? He
Say it.
I don't know because it's personal. I don't know with this contest. You know, there's with James Hollingshead.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, he's standing right over James, isn't he?
So that's him and James. Obviously, you see the thickness of James, of course.
Yeah.
You know, you can't. You go to the other picture, you see it from the back.
Big
if you press it in there, I think he's post down with James.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
That's cool.
Anyway, so it's like he's feeling, what can I say, not appreciated in Norway. He used to compete there.
Okay.
And there was some drama.
Yeah.
Remember, in Norway, it's drug testing.
Oh,
So if I don't like you in Norway,
right.
I can just, guys, he's using, take him. You get 2 year off, and you get So he's moving to the UK.
Okay.
He's got John Compton as his prep coach.
Fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic.
He's gonna change his life in the UK.
Okay.
So he needs some inspiration, and I hope this will help him a little bit more. He's already motivated. So I hope he will find his happiness in the UK.
Yeah.
Because he's too big for Norway.
AJ, yes, fantastic. Yeah, look, big dude.
Yeah.
All the best to him. Do you think you'll ever move to UK? Because you seem to spend a lot of time here, mate.
Our last, before we do that, it's who?
Natalia Coelho. 22
That's somebody
years
we
old.
put her up.
This is the girl that placed as a women's physique pro.
Yeah.
She placed second at the Arnold Classic last year to Shanique Grant. She placed second at the Miss Olympia last year.
So she's 22.
She's 22 years old, 4-time Olympian. She's done 2.
Just imagine that, Giles.
What?
4 times Olympia competitor.
She's won pro shows as a figure. In 2017, she did the Olympia at 2017, got like 16th place, didn't place at the Olympia, and then went straight into physique.
Go down so we can see your pictures.
She's been winning pro shows for fun, this girl. Her condition is incredible. Look at that. I mean, come on. Did you see my interview when I interviewed backstage at the Arnold Classic?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
she's
good.
tiny, isn't she? She's tiny.
So she is not only that.
Sweet.
Yeah, she's so.
And also, can you look at this average point?
Correct, with the schooling thing.
Yeah, she's just look. Can we just bring this up? She's summa cum laude honors distinction for the spring. So she's won a diploma for something really good.
The point is
she's academic.
Can you imagine you having a daughter and she's 22, Chris, and she's already been 4-time at Olympia, and she's the best student in her class, and she's going to college. This is truly
22 to have that
this
work
is
ethic.
Truly amazing.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Oh, she's lovely.
I hope she's gonna win this physique Olympian.
Yeah. I think she's going to give Shanique hell this year. She did last year, and also she's brought her arms up now, and she's got a little bit more fullness.
So how can she beat Shanique? Because Shanique's got a beautiful shape, of course.
I don't know. She's more balanced now, so.
There, look, let me see.
I mean, the top 2 at the Olympia last year were clear. Look at the condition.
Look at that condition.
Do you know how hard it is for...
Look at the legs.
AJ, do you know how hard it is for women to get that kind of condition?
But many of them are more in condition than the men, though. So they're just... You notice it.
And it's harder for women, so that tells you they're working harder.
Yeah, but they're also a lot smaller, though. Maybe it's...
Oh, no, these things she's in condition all year round, so she's dieting and doing cardio all year round.
As it should be when you're 22, huh?
Yeah, a picture there with Ronnie Coleman.
With Jay there?
Yeah, Jay Cutler. It's,
But she's got such an impressive look to her.
Take that photo off. It's
with a small.
Jay Cutler. Arnold there, look. Hey.
What do you call politically correct? What do you call them with the
Midget.
midget? Yeah, that's a political word.
Isn't that what you call Chris?
Is midget the correct word?
AJ, isn't that what you call Chris?
Small person.
Small person.
Yes. But Chris prefers to be called a small person.
She had a post on there with the small person.
With a small person, yeah. Oh, sorry, yeah, that's Arnold.
Arnold, yeah.
He looks pretty big.
Will she? I hope she keeps her feminine. What's it called?
Yeah, feminist. Yeah, because I think the conditioning thing, you got to be careful. Women got to be careful because it's not. You got to be careful. Because that's all. I mean, my partner.
Oh, that's my favorite picture. That one I posted on my Instagram too. There, look at this picture. It's my favorite. Look at this. Yeah. Superwoman.
Yeah, she's cool. She's cool. Yes, so yeah, we're really excited to see what Natalia's going to bring at the Olympia this year. 22 years old. Shanique's 23.
So it's going to be a real battle. Shanique versus Natalia.
And I like to see. The thing is, I don't like to just see the top two and then be like at the figure at the Arnold Classic. Now we've got because the top three it was Latoya Watts, Candice Keane, who's now retired, and then you had Sydney Gillen. And the top three was so far ahead. And now you've got no Latoya. Sorry, Latoya might be competing again. Candice is retired, and now you've got the rise of Jessica Reyes Padilla.
I want Julianne Malacarne to come back.
You do.
And I want female bodybuilding back at Olympia.
Right. I honestly don't believe that Juliana will come back.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think
I wanted it.
I know. It's a shame, but I would love to. You see, I always wanted to see those two Olympias that Shanique pulled out of. I really, really wanted to see.
2021, Juliana, Shanique, was Natalia, and Rosie Rascal-Hart.
Oh, yeah.
In the Olympia. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Man, why doesn't...
This is my partner, Rosie Rascal-Hart, who retired last year from physique.
Just for you people at home, Giles fell in love with a female competitor. He took all his energy, and she went together with her, and they came to Tampa Pro. She won.
She won Dallas.
She got
pro debut,
and you know how much
straight firsts.
You know how much a fan of bodybuilding Giles is. So imagine his wife, his girlfriend,
fiance,
won Rookie of the Year
at the Olympia,
and 1 year later she retired.
That's how it goes. I know. No, well, she's busy with her own stuff now. So anyway, I think we need to wrap it up because we've got one of our special guests.
Come back, Rosie. One more try. Can you imagine, Giles?
I love the going to bed at separate times, and I love the when she's absolutely dead and I can't speak to her and she's like a zombie. Oh, it's wonderful.
How was when she won Dallas? What was your what happened inside when they said
I could
first of all, was it close with the I haven't seen the show.
She won it straight firsts.
Who did you beat?
18 girls.
Do you remember the name in second?
It was there was 18. It was a girl from France. There was 18 girls in it, 18 ladies, and Rosie was a complete unknown. It was mostly all Americans. There was one French girl. There was one. She was like one of the only Europeans in it, complete unknown, and she won it straight first. But when she was just about announcing first, I could feel.
How did you? Yeah.
I remember texting George White because I couldn't get Wi-Fi because I wanted him to get the results up on social media and everything, and I could see my heart like literally beating out my chest.
So if you can rate other than sexual experiences, is this one? How would you rate this experience in your life? Top.
It's one of the. It was good. It was a good one.
Top 3.
I really have to think about that one. It's probably up there. It's up there. But up with my own. Say like when I won my first contest, that was a fantastic day. That was like that was like it was such a surreal experience. 1,100 people and you were winning. I won my first show with straight firsts in a tough qualifier. So yeah, it's up there. It's certainly up there.
So it was a beautiful moment, wasn't it?
Oh, it was amazing. And I remember just running backstage and just like literally just
and when she had the Rookie of the Year award in her, that she didn't care about, of course, but that you cared about.
That was amazing as well. That Olympia, that's 2016 Olympia. She got 12th place out of 30. And that was a fantastic time. Me going as the media guy because I was actually doing a bit of media work, and then to accompany her and kind of guide her through it and everything. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience, and it's memories that I'll always remember.
We got a lot of other guests on this episode.
Yep.
Oh, you're about to cry now, or
no? I'm not gonna cry.
No,
I'm just hungry.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Okay. Well, that's the end of our wonderful wrap. I'm just trying to think. Anything else we've missed out can't be that important.
Muscle development.
Our amazing, wonderful sponsors for which this show is all possible. High-tech pharmaceuticals. Big thank you to them.
Global Muscle.
I was going to do a little
on the rise.
On the rise.
Pop Media.
I was going to do a little story actually about one of their products, Ultimate Orange, but I'll save that for next episode.
Ultimate Orange.
Oh, have you used it?
Very good.
Have you ever used? Oh wow. I had one of the best workouts of my life. That's just back in 1995. But I'll talk about that next episode.
And Zach got his Instagram account back.
I don't think he has. I think he's changed the name on his ZKK Labs. Chris is nodding, and AJ looks very disappointed for the sake of the audio listeners.
Fantastic Instagram he has.
Right, okay. We will be right back after the break with our first of many guests. And we are out. And welcome back to MD Global Muscle Radio here at the Pump Media Studios, joined by my co-host AJ, all the way from Norway, and we are joined by our very special guest, Antoine Vaillant, all the way from Canada. Come on, round of applause. Come on, give a round of applause. Oh, Antoine, that's lovely.
Thank you.
Firstly, Antoine, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Have you got contact lenses in?
I don't have contact lenses.
You've got very pretty blue eyes.
They're green, bro.
Are they green? Okay, now we've got the awkward stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
This is AJ. Have you spoke to AJ before?
No,
Antoine?
I've talked to him on the boards in muscle development, and I've just a couple of games on Instagram, but that's about it.
Yeah. So how are you doing?
Cool.
Yeah. So how are you, Antoine? I mean, how are you? Tell us.
Pretty good. I mean, I'm 7.5 weeks out, and I'm starting to feel the prep a little bit with the the emotion and being in the zone. Really, like I'm starting to be in my own world a little bit, but it's part of the game, right?
Yeah. So the first show you're doing is the Toronto, isn't it?
Yes, but if I'm ready before that, there's another one 2 weeks before.
Oh, really? Which one's that? Hang on, I've got the dates in front of me. Which one?
New York.
New York.
Oh, New York. I couldn't work out whether New York was before or after.
Yeah, so we'll see. So I'm going to decide with Dorian, we're going to decide 2 weeks before the New York Pro if we're going to do New York. Because, if I'm ready and stuff, might as well do the third hardest show in the world, right? Because I think the hardest show is the Olympia, and then is Arnold Classic Ohio, and then is New York Pro.
Correct. So I mean, we put a picture up on the intro that myself and AJ did before, and I think it was maybe last week. It was the hands-on hip most muscular. So what was that? Was that last? That was what 8? That would be 8-9 weeks out. You were in very good condition in that picture.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that pose is one of my best looking pose. I mean, if I want to get a lot of likes on Instagram, I just post one of those. Because I got good delts, right, and the waist gets small and the legs. I mean, it's a good pose for me, and so that's the most muscular I always do. Let's say people are like the judges say most muscular of choice after the abs and thighs. I'm gonna hit that one first.
Yeah, I would say let's go back to last year, 2018. I think for me, you were one of the biggest surprises of the year because your comeback when you took 4th place at the Toronto Pro, you came back so strong after those several years away. I've got to commend you because that's one of the greatest comebacks I think I've seen, certainly in the last 5 years. Don't you think so?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But this season, now that was last year. This season, all the hype is on you. Everybody's talking about you. Over 300 pounds. This is the first time you've been over 300 pounds in shape, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you Are you this New York Pro this time? Last year you were expecting maybe just to look good on stage. This year, are you expecting to win New York Pro and Toronto? Are you going in for the win? Because this is different now this year, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I'm going for the win because, for example, Juan Morel was 259 last year, and I think I'll be around that weight this year. And I think if I have dry, dense muscle, at 260 pound on stage with the lines I have. I mean, I think I can win. Oh, sorry. I think I can win the show for sure.
So you put on a lot of size since last year. I'm just trying to get a feel for how. I mean, obviously, it's not just always about body weight because your physique has improved as well. But what were you weighing last year at the Toronto compared to what you think you will weigh in Toronto this year? Just to get a rough estimate of how much progression you've made.
So I was 248 last year.
Yeah.
And I think I'll be 10 pounds more or less, probably a little bit more this year.
I think it's...
But 10 pounds of hard, dry muscle shows a lot,
That's going to be quite noticeable. I remember when Dorian went from 242 to 257 and his whole physique was completely transformed. I mean, so how tall are you? You're about 6 foot tall, aren't you?
6 foot, yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, New York Pro, Toronto. Have you planned any more shows than that? Any more potentially?
Well, I'm doing Toronto for sure. And if I don't win Toronto, I'm going to keep competing until I get that win. And you know what? I really believe now it's a matter of time for me to be at the Olympia stage.
Definitely.
If all the best guys show up at the shows I do and beat me, next year they won't.
It's a bit,
understand?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm being a bit selfish here because I'm kind of hoping you don't win Toronto because I want you to come to the British Grand Prix, June. No, have you? No, seriously. I mean, even if you do win Toronto, please come and do the British Grand Prix June the 30th. Please.
Oh yeah, just I don't know. We'll see because there's also the guy from Portugal. He invited me to the show. I said, well, if I'm gonna win, I'm not gonna go.
Yeah.
But if I don't win, I gotta do more shows, right? So UK will be on the horizon. Vancouver could be there too. There's a bunch of shows after that. So I'm in my head. I'm preparing myself that it's going to be a long prep no matter what. Because if I win, I go to the Olympia.
Yes.
If I don't, I got to keep competing to get that win.
Yeah. I'm going to message Aaron Singerman now and get him to book your plane ticket for London. We want to see Antoine on stage at the British show. So off to you.
How have you changed this last year? How have you grown this year? Because there's so much different this year. I've seen you. It's so much different. You've changed so much. In a good way. What has happened? Like, can you feel it yourself? Can you feel that you're growing up? Can you feel it? Like, do you feel it?
You mean physically or mentally?
Mentally.
Yeah.
Mentally. Well, the main difference is that last year I started my prep at 12 weeks out, and then I started eating my 6 meals at 12 weeks out. Before that, I had like a year and a half of training under my belt after the rehab. So I came out of rehab 2017. Then I was on welfare and I was going to the food bank to get food.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. So I was just trying to get back into the routine and get back on my feet, and I had nothing. So then I moved to Toronto at some point. And then my ex was like helping me pay for stuff because I had no contracts, nothing. And then I was just eating 3 meals a day, eating a lot of fatty meat. And then I said, okay, let's do a show. And my coach, Dorian Hamilton, helped me tremendously with all that stuff, expenses and things like that. And at 12 weeks out, we started a real prep. And now the main difference that happened is that now I'm really living the bodybuilding lifestyle to the maximum since last year. So I've had a full year of off season and a full year of being strict, of eating like my meals every day, and the lowest amount of meals I ate during the winter was 5. And then we adjusted the diet and we ate 6. So it's like my discipline and my routine and my lifestyle, my schedule is way better than before the last year's off season, the one from before, because I was just trying to get back on my feet. And now I really feel that I came fourth, and then what's the next step? Is to win, right? So I just got to work during the winter, and now I feel that if I look at my physique, I'm like, you know what? I think that I think it's enough to get a win, depending who shows up, right? If somebody is better than me, it's out of my control, but it's not because I'm not going to be 100% that they're not going to beat me.
that welfare thing was very, very strong. That he was on welfare last year.
That's incredible.
Because a lot of us
shows his talent as well, and his mental strength.
Because a lot of us have had problems. Both me and Giles have had problems with recreational drugs before. And we've stopped with that last year. So we're not living through you, but it's like we're very excited to see this journey, because there's a lot of us in the bodybuilding community who have had this problem, you know. So it's very inspirational to see when you quit that shit in 1 year. You went from welfare to being Redcon athlete, like very popular, like 300 pounds. That's a big number. I wanted to put 300 pounds. But like, and this is very inspirational to us. Yeah. So we're living through you also in this journey, you know. So we really want to see you succeed, you know.
Yeah, well, it's good. And I also just did my first podcast where I explained, you know, my journey into addiction, out of it, and now I'm staying on track. And I think sharing that does help people. That's why I do it, and that's why I'm not ashamed of it. Because you know what?
Own it.
Because of that affliction, because of that addiction, now it's becoming a blessing.
Yes.
Because of that, I'm a better person. I can offer more to the world, and I'm the best that I can be, because I don't have it. Because the choice I have is either I'm gonna be the best I can be, and then the other choice is I'm going to be a homeless, a failure, a loser, and a bad person. So I chose the right path, and I'm working towards that, and I'm sharing it, and it does help people, and I'm pretty happy that it does. So, yeah, I mean, the thing with the story about I came out of rehab and things like that is that I came out, but then I knew I had a purpose to go back into bodybuilding. So I was like, you know what? This is it. I'm going to come back. I'm going to work hard, and then I just got to work one little thing at a time. And then I got back to 12 Weeks Out last year. Don't help me out, and I just went for it. And you know, I came forth, and it was good. You know, so and now I just keep pushing. You just got to keep pushing. If you're in hell, well, don't stop. Keep walking. You'll be stuck in hell if you stop.
Yeah, I love it. Do you feel like, because of what you've given to yourself, do you feel like you've given yourself a second chance, which is now probably do you think that's your biggest motivating factor now?
Well, second chance. I failed so many times. I had like more than one chance that I blew them all up. Yeah. But the last one was not a good ending. So I was like, I had to. I knew I had to like make it, you know, because I was like living in a shelter at some point. I was like at some point that 2 years and a half ago, December 3rd, 2016. Yep. I had like $17 in my wallet. I was bleeding in the rain, and I had like a pocket full of drugs, and I was pissed because I was going to rehab on Monday. And it was Saturday, and I was angry that I couldn't party for 2 more days. Because my head was all fucked up. On my podcast, you can see it actually. I put a video because I filmed myself. I was bleeding here, and like the thing was open like that, and there was lumps on my head because one of my friends like hit me 15 times on the side of the head. So I was there, and that was fucked up. So a second chance. That was like I had another chance, and there's always another chance until you don't have them anymore. Because the thing is, if I would fail again, I would die. I'm pretty lucky I'm still alive, right?
Yeah.
So the final time you did it, was it when you actually hit absolute rock bottom, before you really started to think, right, I really need to get my shit together now?
Yeah, well, I hit many rock bottoms after another one, and every time I relapsed, it would go to a deeper one. So the last one was pretty deep. Yeah. And the difference with the last one is that I was ready to start doing things that I didn't think I would do, like being violent towards, you know, because let's say if you don't have drugs, like I couldn't sell my body. I can't do that. But then I was like, oh, I don't mind hurting people to get something out of it. So let's say if somebody has a stash in the house, you go in the house, you tie the guy on a chair, something like that. And I was like, I'm ready for that. I was hanging with the wrong people, and I was ready for that. So I was going towards that. If I didn't stop, I was going towards that, which is not good. I could have get myself killed. What if somebody is crazier than me and fucking pulls a gun on me or something like that?
Yeah.
And so that beating that I got probably saved my life.
Yeah.
When you think about it. Because of that beating, I had no choice to stop right there and then. So,
was there someone that really noticed this? Was it yourself that literally pulled yourself out of this, or was there someone that said, "Okay, Antoine, really, we need to get you some help, mate. We need to get this sorted"?
Well, the first rehab I went, my ex found me in my car, passed out because I was awake for days. She said, "Oh, you got to go to rehab," and I didn't argue with her because I've already tried by myself. Because if you look at the whole story of my podcast, there, my friend was found dead. 2014, December 23rd, 24th on Christmas Day. And that day I decided, you know what, 9 days later, I was like, I'm going to stop drugs for good. But 3 weeks later, I did it again. So I knew something was up. I was like, shit, I can't stop. So I tried moving to the city. And then at some point, my ex found me in my car, passed out. And she said, you got to go to rehab. And I was like, oh, well, I guess so. Because I've tried the other stuff. Sure. So the first rehab I went, somebody suggested it to me, and I was like, yes. But after that, every time I would relapse, nobody in the world could make me stop. I would get out of my way. Oh, you want to make me stop? Well, I'll just go somewhere else where you're not there to fuck my buzz, And I was avoiding. It's crazy because addiction is going to make you run away from the people that you love.
Yeah.
You're going to run away from the people that love you, the people that you love. You're going to go towards other people in misery who don't give a shit about you because they're escaping something also. So it's a very special disease because it's the only one that will do that and the only one that makes you believe you're not sick.
Yeah. Now the three of us know that sometimes you become a product of your environment, and that means you literally can get in with the wrong crowd. They always say that one of the best ways to kind of leave that behind is to pull yourself away from the people that you were associated with. Is that what you did, and that's what you continue to do? Have you? I mean, obviously moving and everything.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. Because in 2012, when I won my pro card, I had a breakup during the prep, but then I still won my pro card. Everything was good. But after that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to party. I want to party. I'm a pro now. I deserve this. I was the title in my head. And so I started hanging out with male strippers, escort criminals, because who's going to party on a Tuesday night? Only those people.
Yes.
Nobody normal. Yeah. So I started hanging out with those people. Then I was like, people say that you're a mixture of the 5 people you hang around the most. So I became a product of that. And if you're around losers, you're going to become a loser. So the main difference that happened, at some point, I left all that, and after my 4th rehab, I moved in with my ex-girlfriend there, and she was good. She was good for me. She artsy and stuff, but she was still in the DJ night scene a little bit, so I was still around stuff, but I wasn't doing it. But then after that ended up during prep, I moved in with Dorian, and then now I have this house here. It's called the Muscle Mansion. I'm living with Frank McGrath and Noah Hamilton.
Oh, really?
So
In Florida?
Yeah. So I'm living with 2 bodybuilders there, and I'm part of the team. So my environment right now is allowing me to do my passion of bodybuilding 110%.
Yeah.
And nobody uses drugs here. Nobody even drinks. So it's like my environment is perfect for what I'm doing. So yes, if you would take me right now and put me back slowly around people who do that stuff or whatever, I could probably derail again, or chances are I will have more chances to do that. But now with my setup right now, my environment, the product of this environment is going to be me be a champion. That's what the product is going to be, and the product of the older environment was me going to be a failure.
Yeah,
a bad person. So now that changed. Now I'm good. But the thing, there's more than that factor, but you're right. The environment is going to be a major one.
Sounds like Redcon and Aaron Singerman have been a huge part of your support system. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Aaron Singerman actually went through something similar in the past. So a lot of companies were hesitant to sign me up Because, for example, Universal before, they were like, I talked to them again, and they were like, they didn't care. They was like, we're not gonna risk it, and because they give me a chance, another chance, then they drop me, which is normal. Like if I'm not, why would I take money and just get fucked up, right? It's normal.
Yeah.
So no hard feelings with that. But Aaron Singerman saw an opportunity to support me and help me to reach my goal and stuff, and of course help his brand. And I felt a connection with him because of what he went through. So because of him right now, I can actually do my bodybuilding. I'll be able to win the shows. It's going to be Redcon1 is one of the factors why I'll be able to get that win, along with my coach Dorian Hamilton and my environment, Team HG, the whole thing here.
Is Frank McGrath still competing?
No, he's not competing. He's just looking freaky.
Yeah. There's been something. Can you give us a quick recap of what happened with this men's physique Jeremy Buendia thing? Or because there's been just your side of the story. What happened for people not unsure?
Sure. I'll make it simple because it was very simple in my head in the first place anyway. Yeah. So I had this guest pose, and my friend Quentin, and he was always like, he's a bodybuilder too. He's also doing Toronto. Quentin Area, 23-year-old. And he was always joking around, hey, so you're switching to men's physique, right? Like in the gym, just as a joke.
Okay.
And there was also, I asked for an idea in my Instagram to the followers. Give me an idea for a guest pose. And some guy said, you should go up in board shorts and then tear them up. And I was like, oh. So I read that. Then I guess it got stuck in my mind, but I forgot that I read that. And then I came up with the idea. Like, that would be a good idea. So I go as men's physique because, like, they're the models, right? They're the models of the fitness industry, the guys who look the best for the general population. And me, if I go there, I'm like 280 pounds or something. It's not gonna make sense. So it'd be fun.
That's brilliant.
So that's what I did, and then I ripped them off and I posed and stuff. And I think it was fine. It would have stayed there. The crowd had a good time. I had a good time. It was funny.
Yeah.
Made a video on YouTube. But then I think Jeremy Buendia, he took offense to that because he thought I was making fun of men's physique. And then right away, I messaged him and I said, hey, that wasn't my intention. I just said, I just did that because it was funny. So, I'm sorry if I did. And then that was that. He went, I think he did some other stories about the subject. He was very angry. And then I had the idea, like, well, if he's angry, like, this is not, whatever. So I did a Instagram post where I'm filming myself listening to him on the screen. And then I said, you know what? Let's turn this to something positive. I'm going to sell the shorts for charity.
Okay.
So then he was very angry about that.
Oh, no!
Yeah. He was very angry, but this is all in the past. I should talk to him and stuff. He was very angry. He tried to kind of like want to take the video down and things like that because he was threatening me like with that. Then I didn't care. Like, you know what? I have nothing to hide, And and then in the end, I sold the shorts for $1,000. I gave them to a local charity here. So that's a station.
Sorry, a bit of an issue with the connection there.
Sorry,
Antoine, sorry, 1 second. We're just having a little bit of a connection issue there, mate.
I don't have that.
1 second.
1 second, Antoine. Sorry, mate. We're just having a little bit of
working for that.
Sorry, mate. We're having a little bit of issue with the connection there.
Okay.
We're just
Where was I?
We just had a little bit of an issue with the connection there.
We can go back to you sold the shorts for charity.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So I sold the shorts and everything was good. And me and Jeremy, I think we ended up on good terms.
Good.
By the text and stuff, he did the interview with RX Muscle. He said he had like his anger issues, you know what? And I'm like, you know what? Nobody's perfect. And the thing with me in life is I try not to take anything personal. So even if he was at me, it was never about me. It was something about him in his head. Yeah. So that's why I'm not angry at him at all. I wish him the best, and I told him like, you're the champ. You should be grateful. There's nothing to worry about here. And then he went on about Dexter, and I don't know. I stopped
we saw yesterday.
following with friends. Yeah, so I don't know what's up with that, but you know what? Nobody's perfect, man. You know, everybody has their own thing. Jeremy has a bad temper. You know, I've been impulsive sometimes myself, so I understand. But in the end, if we just talk it out, everything's good. You know, we're a bunch of complicated like beings stuck in a monkey body. It's gonna be like at some point, you know.
Yeah.
Interacts. It's normal.
Yeah.
So the beef is squashed.
The beef is squashed. AJ's disappointed.
On my part, there was never beef. That's the thing.
Okay, that's good. That's very honest.
Yeah.
That's a very honest way to go.
I was never angry at him. I was never bothered by what he did.
Yeah.
Even the comments he did about my addiction, you know, I just didn't take it personal. He was just trying to get at me. So there was never beef with me towards him. And I think in his head, it was never about me. It was more about something else going on in general. So it wasn't even about me.
Yeah.
So there's no beef. There's never beef.
No. So back to bodybuilding then. Mr. Olympia, did you agree with the outcome? Sean Roden, Phil Heath. Let's get back to that. What's your opinion on that? How do you and who do you think is going to be the next Mr. Olympia champion?
Well, I was there live, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't have my glasses, but from far, the flow of the physique. Sean Roden had a way better flow. Okay, better midsection. But if you look at Phil Heath's physique, way more dense and crazy muscular.
Yes.
So the more wow physique was Phil Heath. But that day, maybe because of the presentation, which is counting the points, I'm not a judge. Because of the presentation and the flow, Sean Roden won. But personally, I'm happy, you know, that he won because my physique looks more like a less good Sean Roden because I think I have good lines, I have a good legs, a midsection. So for me, him winning, if the judges go towards that look, it's good for me.
Yes.
I think so. I'm happy that he won for that. But if I was a judge and I would be judging that day, I think a lot of the shots Phil Heath would have won them.
Yes.
Yes. A big Phil Heath fan. Yeah.
So actually, either or are great champions, you know. And 2011, Phil Heath, unbeatable.
Yep.
And but Sean Roden, you know, he actually commented on one of my posts that I did. Yeah, he said because I did a posing video and he was impressed. So I'm pretty pumped about that. So I like him as a Olympia, and I like Phil Heath's physique also. But and everybody has less better showings, right? Yeah. So I'm glad I'm not a judge. You know, I'm glad I'm not a judge judging all that stuff because must be hard sometimes. But for me, whoever wins, I'm going to be inspired by the champ because they're number one in the world. There's always something you can get out of them and be inspired. So either Sean Roden or Phil Heath, both of them, they inspire me to be the best I can be, you know?
Yeah. One thing I've noticed about your physique is you're a big guy. You've got a lot bigger, but you've managed to keep that midsection small. Now, some of the guys... that just happened unintentionally, but not very often now with guys your size. You know, you've got guys really trying to actively try and keep that midsection small. Is that something you really take steps towards retaining, or is it just it's just genetic?
Oh no, I'm pretty paranoid about it.
No.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm pretty paranoid about it. Like I want to make sure it's gonna stay small.
Yeah.
Because I do vacuums. And now what I do when I practice my posing, I hold the quarter turns for 30 seconds. And I started yoga, right?
Oh.
Wow. In the yoga, they say breathe through the back rib cage. So now when I'm holding the poses, instead of breathing through the stomach or the front rib cage, you can breathe towards the back rib cage, which you can keep your abs really tight. So I'm working on that. So I'm always trying to find ways to control my stomach. Even when I take a shit, I do the vacuum.
I'm just visualizing Antoine on the toilet now going...
Yeah.
Yeah, so I even do the waves. You know, like Chris Cormier was doing the wave in the abs.
The ab roll.
While you're taking
I do that stuff. I try to. So I try when I do abs also to keep them tight.
Yeah.
And I think the main factor is going to be a part, like how wide your waist is going to be. You can control that. How tight it's going to be and flat, you can control. And it's also with ab control. And the other thing I think is food.
Yes.
I think a lot of guys, they just eat too much food. And I think if a lot of bodybuilders, when they cheat, they binge. And when they binge, you're going to be bloated. And if you binge every week, you're going to have a bigger waist than if you don't.
Do you think it causes? Do you think it causes inflammation though? Because they cheat on bad foods normally once a week when they binge. Do you think that causes inflammation of the gut lining and which actually causes some expansion?
Yeah, I think I'm not an expert with that, but of course, eating a bunch of bad shit is going to be bad in general, right? So
Flames.
I think to reduce the factors, like for example, Dorian Hamilton. My last cheat, he said, only eat fries and a cheeseburger. So that's what I did. And now this week, we're going to try again, but without the cheese. See if because my waist went back normal the next day.
Right.
Which is good. It's what you want, right? So you want to refeed, but you don't want the waist to be blown out because you want to practice your posing. You want to train. You want to have the same range of motion when doing deadlifts, for example. So, yeah, I'm working with the waist in mind all the time. I even asked Cedric McMillan, can you give me some tips on the mistakes the guys do? I said, what did the guys do that they become too big? Because he told me, like, don't ruin your physique. He told me that in a direct message. And I asked him, like, what do you mean by that? So he gave me a few tips with some of the stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to do that. A lot of this part of the stuff is the guys, they overeat. They overeat and they take too much shit, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Some guys have said it's you got to watch the heavy compounds, like the really heavy deadlift, the really heavy squats, like where you put in silly amounts of weight. There's a train of thought that they say that can cause waist thickness. So we had a tall guy on, Jamie Christian. He's 6'5", and he said like he really has to be careful with deadlifting and squats to keep his waist nice and small. What do you think about that?
I think, for example, you know how my legs are bigger than the rest of my body genetically.
Yeah.
I guess some guys will have overdeveloped obliques genetically, and heavy work will make them grow. But for me, I don't. Maybe it will have a little bit of an impact, but I think it's a lot about laziness also. I mean, if you're gonna keep your stomach out when you gotta suck it in, right? And for muscle growth, I mean, how much really can you add muscle on obliques? Like, the thing is a small muscle. Like, even if you would add like this much muscle, it's still going to be small if you have a small waist. Because I train pretty heavy. You know, like I don't do like JP does like those crazy he's from your place.
Yeah.
Jordan Peters.
Yeah, he's crazy. He does all the crazy shit. I mean, maybe I don't do that stuff, but I still go heavy. Like I did deadlifts with 495 yesterday. I do my rows heavy with the one arms. I do squats like over 400 pounds. So I mean, I still train pretty heavy, but I don't do the crazy strongman stuff. So I don't think you'll get a lot of growth out of doing compounds. Really, I'm not sure. Unless genetically, if you see it's happening, well, notice it and stop. You know, like your 6'5" guy you were talking about. Maybe you noticed it, you're stopping.
Yeah.
If I would notice my waist would grow out of because I'm doing something, I would stop doing that.
Yeah.
You got to be conscious. You look at yourself every day. You got to tell your friends also, like, hey guys, be honest. If something happens, let me know. You know.
Have you the Redcon team's quite? It's got something like a Blessing Awadibo. We've got Luke Sander. Have you trained with any of the other Redcon athletes?
I've trained with Anthony Rumble, the UFC, the ex-UFC fighter.
Oh, okay.
The fighter, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I've trained with Quentin. He's one of the athletes there. He's he trains with Plexus Gym.
Yep.
But I didn't train with Blessing yet. I didn't train with Brian Shaw yet.
What about Luke?
I didn't train with Luke yet. I guess I didn't go.
We need to get Aaron needs to do some videos of you and Luke train together. And maybe throw Blessing in there as well. Yeah, get the three of them in there. Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. I would love to see
Antoine and Blessing will have a great mix of fun on tape, don't you think? Blessing is a very funny guy, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's very funny. He's very out there. You know, it's good.
Yeah.
So do you all train at the Dragon's Lair, Flex Lewis's gym in Florida, Boca Raton?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Boca Raton. Is it Boca Raton?
Boca Raton, yeah.
Boca Raton. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
No, we're excited we're really excited to see you, man. We're really excited to see you because now we consider you as Canada's best bodybuilder. But we consider you Canada's greatest current active bodybuilder.
Well, no, in Toronto because Ian Vaillant won a pro show last year.
Yeah.
He's the
neck and neck.
but wait, and then there's Fouad Abiad. He won 2 shows.
Yeah, but that's
Fouad hasn't competed for a couple of years, has he?
Yeah, but it's a long time.
He's competing again this year. He has a 2-year break, but I mean, to say I'm one of the best Canadian bodybuilders.
Yes,
but I'm not the best officially yet because those guys have wins. I gotta prove myself and beat them to say that.
Is that a driving force? Is that something that's at the back of your mind? You want to be in the back of your mind? It's like, I really want to be the best bodybuilder in Canada, statistically in every way.
I want to be top 6 in the world.
Ah, yes! Music to our ears. This is fantastic.
Yeah. So, but one thing at a time, though. And the thing is all those athletes, all the bodybuilders, even Nathan De Asha talking shit, all those guys, they're motivating me to be my best. Yeah. So every time I see a guy who's really good, every time I hear about somebody, every time I'm in the gym, I'm in between my sets. During my set. I'm like, you know what? I gotta give more than my 100%. I gotta make sure there's nothing left in the tank and there's no stones left unturned.
So
Nathan, in the era now of these people like certain athletes talking smack, talking shit online, you seem to take it all very well. You seem to use it as fuel, as motivation. You don't seem to be doing videos of you upset about stuff and very angry and going on rants. You seem to be very mature about the whole way that the industry can be. I really, really like that.
But it's going to be great to see Nathan De Asha versus Antoine Vaillant in Toronto.
Let's build the beat.
What's going to happen between you and Nathan on stage in Toronto and New York? Because you're doing both. Nathan is doing Toronto and he's doing the New York Pro. What's going to happen? Yes.
Well, is he going to have any hamstrings this time or?
Love it.
But you know what? Nathan is top 6 in the world, right?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
So I can't be like, oh, he's not good. No, he's very good.
Yes.
So, but I think as far as details and condition, I might be able to get him there. But muscle fullness, he's very good with that. And then, remember those shots in the hotel room that he did with Matt, Jensen there? Jensen is his coach, right?
Yes, Matt Jensen.
Yeah, he's very, very good. So I can't count him out. I can't be like, oh, I'm going to beat him like nothing. No. Like what? I'm basing this on what? I came fourth last year, and he's top 6 in the world.
Yeah.
So you know what? I know what I can bring. I believe that I do believe I can beat him, and but I can't start talking shit because I have nothing to back it up. Right?
Yeah.
So I have to do the show and prove myself.
Yeah.
And if he beats me, it's because he's going to be better than me. It's not because I'm not going to be at my best.
Yeah. So last year, as soon as you came off stage at Toronto, you started looking at the pictures, and you're back in. You're looking at. You're going back to the drawing board. What did you look at in terms of? I mean, you must have been pleased with what you brought. It was a fantastic comeback. When you looked at the pictures and thought, right, this is what I need to do for my improvements. This is what I'm gonna come back to the same show next year, and this is what I want to do. What were the improvements you really wanted to make? Because we've seen huge improvements in the pictures from last year, but I want to hear your perspective on how you feel your physique has improved and how you did it.
I think overall I needed more size, and I was a bit flat at the show, a little bit. Okay. But I think it was more overall I needed more size, and that's why I went straight to work the next winter, and I worked a lot. I gained a good amount of weight, and now I can see as I'm cutting through the weeks what I've added. all the hard work I did, it's like, oh, every week I can see like, oh, this wasn't there. That wasn't big like that like last year at 8 weeks out. So it's good. And I think my chest improved. I think I've improved, kind of good overall. Even my legs got bigger, And, I want to make them fuller and stuff. And I think I have, for example, my front last spread last year sucked. This year I found a way to do it that is better. Yeah. So I even improved some of my poses. And if I look at all my poses, they all improved a lot. So, I mean, what more can you ask, right?
Have you? This seems like a strange question. Has Flex Lewis took a look at you?
Every time I went to his gym, I don't think I was in that good of a shape, so he couldn't. But he talks with my coach Dorian Hamilton a lot, and I think he gave me a few words of encouragement also. So Flex probably watching all our guys and and to keep track of like who's doing what, right?
Because Flex does have a good eye physique. That's why I asked that question. So
a good eye for.
Yes, he's got a very good eye physique, and he's very encouraging of the guys like yourself that are looking to get ahead, and he's very supportive, especially if you're training in that if you're in that group,
Yeah, he's the man. He's a good champion. He's a good businessman. He's a good friend. He's a good bodybuilder. He's a good he's a good guy.
Good guy. It's Welsh, you see. Good Welshies. Okay, now I'm Welsh. I saw on your Instagram a couple of weeks, maybe 2 weeks ago, you were talking about you're going to be doing your own podcast. Now, we knew a little bit about your story, obviously, before you came on today. And do you want to tell us why you decided to do that? And do you think it's helping you? Are you doing it as like is it catharsism? Where you're trying to like help your own development and maybe inspire others and help others to pull themselves out of situations that they've got themselves into, and they just need someone like yourself who's pulled yourself out of the shit to really kind of move forward in life.
Yeah, my podcast is the first episode I wanted to be about my recovery, because I never did a long form uninterrupted of how it all happened. I had like a little bit of questions like that on interviews and a little bit of here and there, but by myself, a whole monologue of what happened, like a whole sharing. I never did that, and I wanted to do that for my first episode. And the main reason would be to help people, because sometimes I do a little post with a little paragraph, and people are like, I have good feedback. Yeah. So I was like, I'll give them the ultimate like content for recovery. So I did that. But my podcast is going to be about whatever. I'm going to be. It's going to be. It's going to be about recovery when I feel like it. Sometimes I'm going to have a guest. Sometimes I'm going to just rant. Sometimes it's going to be entertaining, and sometimes it's going to be about bodybuilding. Sometimes not.
Yeah. So
I want to have a lot of freedom. I want to do it because it's a new type of content I never did, and I'm just learning how to do that. And I watch a lot of Joe Rogan's podcasts. I'm like, hey, if I keep watching that all the time, maybe I should try to like have my own and stuff. And for now, I'm just doing it for fun and just to have extra content. That's all I'm doing. Yeah.
I listen to a lot of Joe Rogan. What's been your favorite Joe Rogan interview that you've watched personally? Favorite?
I like the one with Elon Musk was interesting.
Yes, that was good.
The one with the Paul Stamets, with the mushroom guy, the mushroom expert.
Oh, the psychedelics. Yeah.
That too, yeah. And what else?
Did you see the Dorian Yates one?
Yeah, I've seen it.
What do you think?
It was okay. It was okay. It was good. Okay. Also, I like the one where he's always just with his friends, with Joey Diaz and all the stuff, the comedians.
Yeah,
it's always good. And the recent one that I like was the one with the girl. She's like a medicinal historian,
right?
And she talks about all the surgeries.
I was driving down to London last week, and my partner Rosie, she put one on, and I had to turn it off after 10 minutes when she was on about the thing that spun off, the medical thing that failed, that took the guy's fingers off. It was like it was a medical instrument that it was a failure. It never got used, and it would wind up, and he used it to saw bones, wasn't it? And
Yeah.
And then there was the guy that used to do amputations in something like 60 seconds, and this is in the times of no anesthetic, and he'd have to saw people's legs off, and he was the quickest knife in the. That was fantastic. Yeah, sorry, a bit of a tangent.
Yeah,
it was just really, honestly, really gruesome. Check it out; it's disgusting.
Yeah, the cool thing about Joe Rogan's podcast is that it's my main source of like education and entertainment right now, because he has so many different guests. You can learn so many things. Either sometimes it's fun, sometimes very educational. I even like listened to the one about Twitter and censorship and banning. It's like I would have never learned all that if it wasn't for that podcast. So it's very cool that this podcast exists, and that's why I decided to make my own. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make one where it can be about anything. That way, it can be all kinds of content on there.
That was pretty much my next question. Was like, are you inspired by Joe Rogan because of the difference of topics? Like every single day he does something completely different on a numerous amount of topics. Like, so basically your podcast isn't just going to be about bodybuilding. It's going to be about all subjects.
Not at all. No, because my first episode was about my recovery.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which we have, but
so
people, but bodybuilders can still relate to that because it's a journey. It's something that, it's ended up with you stepping on stage, looking fantastic after kind of many people you kind of disappeared, you literally disappeared. So it's relative to bodybuilders, even if they've not been through that particular experience.
Everybody goes through struggles in life.
Yeah.
At different levels. Some people it's like sometimes food. Some people it's depression. Some people it's like anger. Some people it's like they're just going through a bad time. They have no money and they just. So if you can just whatever the struggle, mine was drug addiction.
Yeah.
But you can remove that word drug addiction and you put something else that you're going through in there, you can actually learn how to get out of it and learn how to deal with it better, because it's all about like how you react to like what's happening around you, and admitting sometimes that there is a problem, putting your ego aside and seeking help is probably the first thing you got to do. Let's say if you have a problem with drugs, the first thing you got to do is accept that you're a drug addict. Accept that you don't have any power over that shit. So if you have food, accept you have no power over food. So if it's like sex, accept that you have no power over a woman. So then after that, you seek help. Okay, I'm a fuck up. I need some help. So put your ego aside. Stop saying like I can do it by myself, and then go tell your loved ones. Go see a shrink. There's like there's 12-step meetings everywhere around the world.
Yeah.
So there's ways to get help. For me, I had to do it really the hard way. I had to go to a rehab that was closed 24/7, because the first weeks where I stop, I'm not thinking right. I got to be in a place where it's all about that.
Yeah.
Because if I would try to stop by myself, I would relapse after 5 days all the time.
Was there someone that was really inspirational that maybe you keep? Like I went for a bit of a bad period last year, and I like listen to Dr. Jordan Peterson. Like it keeps me right, it keeps me strong. And sometimes people find, like Tony Robbins and people like that, or people who've been like even people like yourself that have gone through something that would watch your podcast and think, you know what, that's just going to keep me on the straight and narrow and stop me from falling back into that pit of despair again, and being pulled back in.
So you're asking if I have somebody like that?
Yes, do you? Yeah. It could be a family member or someone that, like somebody online or someone that somebody that... Well,
the only person that I kept contact with, even when I was in active addiction and I was trying, it was my mom. Right. My mom was like... I didn't mention her in the podcast, actually. But she's like she's the only one that was helping me like during she fucked through the hard times, and I feel bad but now she's happy that I'm doing good. So there was my mom, and also there was another guy that I mentioned in my podcast. His name is Aaron McLean. He actually has over 13 years of recovery, and he's the one who kind of guided me through the first part of my recovery, and he became one of my best friends. So he's like my spiritual coach. If I'm going through something and I'm not sure, I'm gonna call Aaron, and he's pretty cool. He's actually just a tad older than me. He has a video game company, makes VR video games, and he's into like a lot of the spiritual stuff and shamanism and things like that. And he's a great example for me because he lives a life of like sacrifice and hard work, and it's very cool. If people say like, oh, what would Jesus do? well, sometimes I'm like, what would Aaron do?
Yeah, yeah.
I think this podcast thing is a great idea, and I think you should focus on other topics than bodybuilding, because the reason why back in the day Antoine was so popular is because all those crazy videos you used to do. Remember the skateboarding and the wrestling out in the backyard, and that made him stand out in a little bit boring bodybuilding industry.
I like the Redcon videos he's doing with Aaron, the silly ones. Well, one with the VR thing. What was that one with the VR new on the?
Yeah, but I'm talking about back in the day when he was very popular on YouTube. Remember when he did those Universal commercials back in the day? And then he started with all these videos of different, not bodybuilding, but skateboarding and all these crazy things. That's what people remember, like, sets you apart from the rest, you know?
Yeah.
So you should keep that up.
Because back then I had like I could film in the gyms, right? But now the cool thing is that me and the boys were opening up Pure Muscle and Fitness as our own gym.
Oh wow!
So I'll be able to do all kinds of content there. I'll be able to train shirtless. I'll be able to scream and just like do whatever I want.
Yeah.
And then my place here, I got the podcast. I do it over there on the chair.
Yeah.
I'm able to do more content now, and I'll be able to be more creative like back in the day. Because back in the day, also I had like friends that would help me film, and because I went through what I went through, after that it was like I lost the like the habit of doing all that stuff. And now when I was just busy trying to get better. But now that I'm comfortable and I'm better again, I'm thinking more about what kind of cool stuff I could do now. So I'm starting to do all the crazy content again, and it's gonna be you're gonna see some crazy stuff at that too, for sure.
Yeah. Another reason I'm excited about your podcast and everything you're doing is because I was if you remember at the Olympia when Ron Harris interviewed you at the Olympia Expo. Do you remember? I was with him, and I was watching you interviewing other people. And you were really good. I was stood by, and I've got some footage on my phone of filming. Actually, it was watching.
Is a given. Everybody.
It was fantastic. I was like, shit, this guy's. I'm thinking this is a really good guy for like a company like Redcon to be associated with, because he ticks. You can use him. You can, he's not just relevant when he walks on stage, and as soon as he walks off stage, that's it until next year. This is someone that's got a personality. This is someone who's creative. This is someone who can talk openly. This is someone who's got life experience, and that is something that's relevant all 365 days a year. So yeah.
Well, I like to have fun, and I like to be creative. I like to create content. I like to interact with people. So so that being like that gives me a lot of opportunity with all kinds of stuff, like interviewing people, like you said.
Brilliant.
Doing this right now is fun. It's a good way to live, I think.
Aaron's very lucky. Aaron's very lucky to have you, mate. He's very lucky to have you.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Complete segue back to bodybuilding. What do you think of the Arnold Classic this year?
Yes, it was good. It was good, and I was hoping that Brendan Curry was going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I like his physique more. And William last year though he was crazy. He was very good. But this year I just like the fact that Brendan Curry was very good. He looked very good up there. You know what I think happened? Also, he had a better shine on his the glaze. He had better. I think William was lacking a little bit. So sometimes those little things can make a difference. But so it was a good show, and I'm kind of bummed out that Lionel Bayeki couldn't do it. From France.
Yeah.
Well,
this plug because Lionel has one of the best physiques.
We didn't prep this, by the way. This is your boy. It's your boy.
But for real. And dude, this guy's the first time I met him, it was 2008. I was young, okay? And he was just starting out, and I remember he was on a break during his off season, and he showed me his quad, and it was like a strided rectangle with like different shapes. I was like, what is this human? It's not even fair. And so now seeing him like compete, we all know what he needs to do. And but once even if he doesn't do it, it's very impressive. Just his physique is insane. And I've seen some videos lately. He's doing the Arnold Brazil.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I hope he nails it because this guy's physique is on another level. Yes, it's like you look at him, you look at somebody else, it's like it's not even the same thing.
Yeah.
AJ fully agrees with you because he's been one of probably Lionel's biggest fans for years. You know, so we're a huge fan of Lionel. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting mixed up. I'm just totally. So going back to Brandon Curry, how do you think you'll do at the Olympia this year? And let's talk about the wild card like Ramy and Brandon. How those two specific bodybuilders? How do you think they'll do this year
at the Olympia?
Yes.
Well, Ramy has to qualify, no?
Yes, but assuming he does qualify.
Okay. Yeah. Well, he needs to qualify because. I don't know. He needs to be sharp. I think he needs to stop being so huge because he'll never be small. He needs to be. Remember when he won the New York Pro?
Yes, 2013 and 14.
Dude, like what was that? That was crazy. So he needs to be like that. And Brendan, he was he top 5 last year? Was he 3rd, 4th last year?
He was fifth last year. Fifth last year. Fifth.
Yep. Fifth. I think he can go up a couple spots for sure. But to beat Sean Roden, I mean, Sean has really good legs.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know, like Brendan's legs, they're good, but they're not like Sean's. So we'll see. And if Phil Heath, is Phil Heath doing the Olympia or not?
No. Not this year.
Not this year because he's looking pretty huge in the pictures lately. I mean, if this guy shows up and he fixes his operation problem was saying. Yes. If that can be reversed a little bit, dude, I think Phil Heath at his best is like unbeatable.
Yeah.
I think like if you look at Sean Roden's arm and look at Phil Heath's arm side by side, it's not even the same thing.
No.
Yeah.
But if Phil Heath is a little bit off. And Sean is really on. And I was talking to Sean on the Instagram, and he said that he had like a really setbacks in the last 2 preps. The last 2 preps he did, he went through a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So he couldn't prep to 100%, but he still won last year.
Wow.
So he's telling me this year there's nothing stopping him right now. So we might actually see a way improved Sean Roden that we've never seen before. Maybe a bigger one with the same lines, a more dense muscle one. Who knows? But this year, because if he was that good last year and he went through all this shit that he went through, and this year there's nothing stopping him, like who knows? And as far as the top 5, it's probably going to be similar to last year. You know, maybe Brendan Curry is going to go up a notch or 2, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see who has to qualify still because we don't have who's qualified right now.
Most of them. Well, Ramy's. I think is it Lebanon or Beirut? Beirut.
Ramy?
I think it's Lebanon. Somewhere in the Middle East. It's as a late show that I think he's going to be. It's likely that he's going to be doing that one, and if that's the case, then he's probably going to qualify.
So he's going to do one show. He's going to do just one show.
I believe so because he was originally down to do the New York Pro, but he's definitely not doing that now. So
no, I think as I heard of because of his religion, Ramadan.
Ramadan, that's correct. He
cannot. The way he cannot eat during the day. I'm not too expert by that, but that would be like a problem if you want to prep, right?
Yeah.
And for he has his own values with religion. He puts that above other stuff, which is respectable. So he just picks it up another show. But if he only picks one show, he better win it.
Yes, he better.
What if somebody else is really good who's going to do it?
Yeah, I suppose. Yes, it's if you leave that to one of the last shows, and that's
risky.
It's risky. It is risky, but it shows confidence as well. So, but seems you're part of the whole Florida crew. Have you spoke to Flex Lewis about him coming back next year? Has he divulged any information about what show he's going to do and how he's going to do it?
Last time I asked him that question was right after the Olympia.
Right.
I think. And I think he said that for now he's not going to do anything.
Okay.
But he said, I think the whole idea that was like around is that he's going to do the Open.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of like when. And I think he will do really good because,
with no weight restriction.
212 or not, he's like a crazy bodybuilder. And remember when Lee Priest was winning shows at 205?
Yeah, it was like, I think he won one at the San Francisco 2002. I think he won it at 199 pounds.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't need to be super huge to be a great bodybuilder.
Just complete.
Sometimes even the shorter guys, like I think William Bonac is not a tall guy either.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when William Bonac in 2012, when he came on the scene, he was doing the 212.
Yeah, really, he was a 212.
Yeah, he was a 212 in 2004. Yeah, he was fourth place at the British Grand Prix one year. I think Jose beat him, Flex beat him, and Eduardo Correa beat him as well. But he was a good 212, but he struggled to make it down. But that's how he turned pro. He turned pro and did 212 the first year, and then he switched up to the Open.
Yeah, this guy's side chest is crazy, and his back is crazy. William Bonac, he's a great bodybuilder. But yeah, what we're saying about talking about something here. We're saying the Flex Lewis.
Flex Lewis, yeah.
Flex Lewis.
Yes.
Yeah. So no, I don't know what he's gonna do, but whatever he does, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be good at it because he has good work ethics.
If you find out, just send me a text, all right? And I promise I won't tell anyone.
Well, if he tells me not to say anybody, I'm gonna keep his promise first.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I respect that. Okay, AJ, do you want to finish off with any last questions before we let Antoine go?
As a Antoine Vaillant fan since I was younger, it's great seeing this. We're forgetting about the past. I didn't want to talk so much about the addiction really now because it's gone. It's time to move on up. I'm really happy for you. Everybody's feeling this new, like we're on Team Antoine.
Team Antoine, yeah.
And can we, to take us out, can we get a Antoine wrestling type of promo? What you gonna do at the New York Pro and this year? What you gonna do? Can you give us a wrestling promo or what you gonna do in New York Pro and Toronto this year?
Well, the other competitors cannot control what I'm going to do, but one thing's for sure, I'm going to be 110%. And if they slack off and they're not 100, they got to keep in mind that I won't be less than 110%. So they better bring it up. They better bring it because I'm going to bring it.
There you go.
There we go.
Yes. So, okay, Antoine. This was even better than I expected. Didn't I say this was going to be a good one?
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. You're very open, very honest. And you're very introspective as well. You seem to be you are on a journey, and I think it's really inspiring because I can relate to a lot of the things you've gone through and the things that you're sort of talking about. And it's full respect to you, mate. I really appreciate that. And
where can people see this podcast?
Yep.
My podcast, it's right now it's on my YouTube channel. So it's youtube.com/Antoine Vai. But if you Google my name, YouTube my name, you're gonna find my channell, and it's uploaded there. But I just applied for the iTunes.
Okay.
So the audio version is gonna be on iTunes.
Yeah,
brilliant.
But for now, it's on my channel there. So you can probably have a link in the description or something, you guys, and put it there. Yeah.
Anything like that, Antoine, just send me a text and we'll happily promote it on this show and any of the platforms we have. And I'll push you in my MD column and because we want to get behind guys like you, mate, because
and congratulations on the MD cover again.
Yes.
Finally.
Yeah, that was sick. Sick cover, right?
Great cover.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, Antoine, I'll let you get back to your food, dieting. And like I said, thank you so much. And we really appreciate you taking the time so close to your contest. And big respect to you, mate. Thank you.
Thank you very much for listening, guys.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Antoine. And I'll speak to you very soon, mate. Bye-bye.
Yeah, see you guys.
Bye. Yeah, it's very easy to see why he's popular, though. Yeah. So for all the people saying bodybuilders are not, well, many are though. But he's definitely not boring.
Oh.
He definitely has personality.
He went over all the subjects I was hoping he would go over because he's got such an interesting story to tell. It's inspiring. It's, he's this is a guy that's learned from mistakes. He's very honest about the things he's gone through. He said, like, I failed many times, but, I didn't just get a second chance. I was on like my 10th chance or my 15th chance, and I got so much respect for people like that,
Now, Antoine Vaillant.
Fantastic.
MD cover. He's on Redcon. He's living with people who only no alcohol, no drugs.
Yes.
So this is it. Let's see what happens in New York. Oh, New York Pro, huh? So we have Antoine, Nathan. Who else?
Yep, Nathan.
James
Hollinshead, yeah. James Hollinshead.
Who else is doing it? I thought
my brain's gone blank. Sometimes it's a lot of contests going on, a lot of good stuff going on. There's a lot of good competitors this year, and it's good to see, and it's going to be an exciting show, you know. So yeah, how can you not root for people like that? How can you not root for people like that? Amazing.
Yes, that was a good one.
Yeah. I'm going to be thinking about this one a lot, actually. I'm going to remember this one, I think, over a lot of the other interviews we've done, which have all been great, all been fantastic. But I think I connected with that one probably more than some of the ones we've done. Definitely. And you just want good things for people like that, and you want to really see people like that go on and succeed and be happy and, you know, and be fulfilled and go to the very, very top of the sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Hope you guys enjoyed it.
On the microphone.
Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, okay, so big thank you there to Antoine.
Yeah.
And yes, we'll go to...
That was episode... No, we have...
16.
Finished.
Yeah, finished, yeah. This is... Anyway, obviously, we'll be back after the break with one of our other guests. And I hope you enjoyed that one. And we'll be right back after the break. And welcome back to MD Global Muscle Radio here at the Pump Media Studios, joined by my co-host AJ all the way from Norway. And we are joined by a very special guest, a friend of mine I've not spoke to for a little while, Milan Sadek from the Czech Republic. Can you hear us okay, Milan? So we've had some issues with internet connection, but can you hear us okay?
Yeah, now it's okay. Hello.
Oh, perfect. Thank God for that. Yes, Milan, I mean, we go right back to, it was probably 2014, wasn't it? 2014 when you did the Arnold Classic as an amateur.
It was 2013 when I was in Arnold Classic.
That was you took fourth in the heavyweights, wasn't it?
I was seventh.
Seventh. Oh, you got seventh. I thought you got fourth. I've got fourth in my head.
No.
So now obviously that was back you were about 24 years old now. So what are you, about 28, 29 now?
I'm 30.
Oh, 30. Okay, cool. I'm doing too great. I'm not sorry. I should have done my homework here. So I really want to give a little bit of backstory because I know you're doing the New York Pro and you're coming back as an Open. Do you want to tell us about quickly how you turned pro and your rise as a 212 and now where you are now as an Open? Can you just tell us about that?
Yeah. As you said, we first met in 2013 at the Arnold Classic.
Correct.
And it was not a good placing for me. But 1 year after, 2014, I started at Amateur Olympia in Prague.
That's right.
And I won my category and I get the pro card. So that was my entry point to the Pro League. And 1 year after, 2015, I did my pro debut. It was 212 category, again here in the Prague. And it was at the Evels Prague Pro Show. And then there I was fifth. So
but that was, the lineup that year was fantastic. Do you want to tell us who was in that lineup? Just to let people know what kind of company you were in.
Yeah, there was David Henry, Jose Raymond. No, I can't remember, but it was a really tough lineup.
I remember because it was
it was a really great result for me. I'm still really proud of my pro debut.
Yeah, because to make, like you're getting called out with the top guys, and you're comparing really well. Because one of the things about your physique, it's very symmetrical, it's very complete, it's very detailed, and it kind of fitted in with the 212 for a while, didn't it? For a couple of years, but then just carry on telling us about your 212 career.
The year after, I had a hernia surgery. So 2016, I was not competing, but I focused for the 2017. My first show was Charlotte Pro, where I won.
Yep.
Yeah. It was my qualification for the Olympia, so it was one of the best moments in my life. Then I started at the New York 212. I was third. And the next show was the Olympia. And I finished sixth. So my first Olympia was, really good.
Top
Top 6, yeah.
Yeah, but then after that, because I said, if you're making top 6 and you're only in your 20s and you're doing the 212 Olympia and you're making top 6, can you not stay as a 212? Remember, we had this conversation and you were saying, no, look, Giles, it's really, really hurting me to make 212. So, I mean, even then you were really sucking it down to come down to 212, weren't you?
Yeah, many people told me just to stay in 212, that I can be always like top 3 and every year on the Olympia stage. But, I'm a bodybuilder. I want to make a progress. I want to be better, bigger. And there was no room for the progress. I always had to drop a really big amount of weight, and it hurt my body. It was not what I wanted. I wanted to improve. So that's why I switched to open, and the previous year, 2018, was my first season in the open. So I just wanted to be better,
Yeah.
But slowly, my goal is to keep the lines, the small waist and good conditioning.
Yeah. So tell us how you did last year in the New York Pro and everything.
The last year in New York Pro, I was, I think, 7th again. And 1 week after that, I did California Pro, and I was 6th. Yeah. But I think it was really good. It was really good shows.
Yeah. So obviously, what sort of body? Sorry, a bit of a delay. Sorry, so what sort of body? Obviously, you were 212 in 2017 because you won the Charlotte Pro, and I remember because you beat Craig Richardson and Nicholas Vuliud. Really, really high standard shows. And you won it. That was a good show to win. And then 2018, what kind of body weight were you on stage when you? Sorry, my voice is going. What sort of body weight were you in 2018?
I need to say I don't know.
You don't know
because I didn't want to be stressed. Because the years before, I was still just, every 10 minutes on the scale and waiting for the number. And now I said to myself, it's not how much do I weigh, it's about how I look on the stage.
Yeah.
So I didn't want that stress factor. I want it out of my life, and I just focus on the shape and conditioning. And I honestly don't know what my weight was.
Okay, well that's good to know. Actually, that's good to hear. Actually, sometimes because I was surprised. I thought, okay, is it a good move moving up to open? But you said you really struggled in 2017. And the thing is, your physique is so complete. I mean, that frontal bicep, that everything's kind of you're very, very complete physique. So how, have you made a lot of improvements this year for the New York Pro going in? Because I've seen some progress pictures on your Instagram, and I can see that you're a little bit bigger again.
Yeah, I think I'm bigger, but this prep was really hard for me. I had some health issues. Now 1 month ago I injured, so it's a really not great prep, but that's what keeps me motivating, because I want to beat myself and be better than I was, bigger than I was, but I don't want someone to see some problem that I had during my prep.
Well, you've not torn anything, have you? So what was the injury, if you want to tell us?
I don't want to tell,
No, but I've not. I've looked at your physique. I've not seen anything.
Let's not talk about that.
That's the goal, that nobody will see what happened, because
I'm going to go look at some pictures.
I really try hard to overcome it.
Okay, do you want to ask me questions?
Yeah, Guru Hansa Guru Hansa.
Hunter Cavalier.
He's been talking about you for years on muscle development forums. So I'm really happy to finally meet you. We want to know more about you other than bodybuilding, because people don't know so much about you. In America and England. How's your daily life other than do you work a regular job? Are you a personal trainer? How's life in Czech Republic for you?
Life is wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm a personal trainer, so I work in the gym. But outside the gym, I really love cars. So I spend a lot of time with friends and cars and with my family, because...
Sorry, what's that? I didn't get that.
It's a car person.
Oh, a car person. Okay,
yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, because, my life is split. Because from Monday to Thursday, I live in Prague.
Okay.
Here, just to train and work in the job. to train clients.
Yeah.
And Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I travel 300 kilometers to my family, and I'm spending time with them.
Oh,
so so it's like, but for me, it's like a balance, in my life, because I'm a pro bodybuilder, and on the other side, I'm still a family guy who just like to enjoy his life.
So what shows have you got planned for this year? What are your plans for the immediate season ahead?
My plan is in 5 weeks, the New York Pro. 1 week after that, I really wanted to compete in Cali Pro, because the last year it was really perfectly organized and nice show. But at the same date, there is a show in Puerto Rico.
Okay. Oh, that's the one that a friend of ours is doing. Jessica's doing,
and my wife always dreamed about being in the Caribbean. So,
hit the beach next day.
I need to give her something.
So
that's why I will do the Puerto Rico Pro. And I think 1 month later, there's a pro show in London.
Oh, you're going to do the London show. This is great news.
This is fantastic.
You could do very well there.
I will meet you there.
There we will meet him.
Yeah. So why did you not just want to maybe go for the Prague show? Because that's the EVL Prague show. That is a fantastic show. I mean, did you not want to go for that being in your home country?
Yeah, I would like to. Maybe I will do the Prague show this year. It depends on on the body. If I will feel good and healthy. That's what I'm considering. That also do the Prague show. But my goal is to be better. I started my open in New York, and I want to be there every year and beat it. Just to slowly move up the.
Because it's a long way to go, like Czech Republic to New York, and when you've got that kind of show on your doorstep. I mean, a lot of the British pros are all kind of doing the British Grand Prix in June because it's on their, it's on their home turf. But did you go to the Prague show last year?
No.
Oh, you didn't go to it? Oh, right.
I didn't.
I was just curious
because it was too far from the Cali Pro.
Right.
Okay.
It would be a long season. I had a really long season in 2017 when I was in April in the Charlotte Pro.
Yeah.
And then the Olympia and Kuwait Pro. So it was really a long year for me.
Yeah.
And the whole year was dedicated to the bodybuilding, not to the family. So the 2018, I said home, okay, the first half of the year is mine.
Yeah.
And the second half of the year, I will be with you.
That's fair. I actually
but the 2019 will be all about bodybuilding.
Oh, okay. No, I actually meant, did you just go and watch as a spectator?
I was there, as a spectator.
Because Pavel Beran, he's a fellow Czech, isn't he? Is he Czech?
Yes.
I'm just curious to know. This is the guy that took fourth place in the Pavel Beran. He took fourth place at the Prague Pro. He beat Samson. He beat James Hollinshead. And I'm just curious to know what he thought of him, because this is a guy that's come out of nowhere. He's because Czech's quite a there's not a huge pool of really like top guys. There's not many of them, because I mean Thomas Barres. You train with Thomas, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you still? Is he going to make a comeback? Or I mean, I want to see what the Czech scene's like. That's all I'm just trying to get at.
No, Thomas will never do the comeback.
Oh, really?
Just trains me and do the business. So he's not planning to return.
Yeah. Okay. Well, obviously.
But about Pavel, Pavel did a really great progress, and I saw him about 2 weeks ago, and he is also much bigger than he was. So. Yeah. I think he will be phenomenal then next year.
I mean, there's some good.
He told me that his plan was New York Pro 2020. So maybe we will meet there.
Yeah. I think because you both, I don't know what it is, but the Czech guys have got very, very complete physiques, and they get really, really good condition. So anyway, it was Milan. We just wanted to get you on, just give you a quick bit of publicity, because, like I said, I remember featuring you in my MD Euro Muscle Scene column back in it would have been 2013, and we've kind of stayed in contact, and and I've seen him at the shows, and it's been nice to sort of follow his career as an amateur, then as a 212, now as an open.
That's the class you want to be.
Yeah, and he's making he's making a dent in every single show he does, and like I said, the improvements from your physique from year to year, have just been so significant, which tells me you're a very, very hard worker. So, we wanted to wish you all the best, and I'll be really following your progress on Instagram. And in fact, for you, do you want to tell us your Instagram handle just so people can follow your progress right up to the New York Pro?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram, Sadek Milda. I think it will be better to give some link or some text to better find. And also, I would like to thank you because I appreciate that you helping with the promotion, and you are just my friend. And thanks for everything.
I appreciate that. That's not what Lee Priest said to me. Yes, okay, and I'll also, because I've got a new column in MD now, it's called Global Muscle Scene. So I've been eyeballing you to get you in for the next issue. So I'm going to write that tomorrow. I think I'm going to get you in the. Yeah, I'll get you in one of the issues. So nice follow up 6-7 years later. So okay, Milan. Well, just want to wish you all the best, and we'll look forward to see you.
Looking forward to see you in England,
in London,
on
June the 30th, and keep an eye out for this guy because I'm telling you, he's really, really good. So okay, Milan, we shall speak to you very soon, and all the best at New York, mate.
Thank you very much.
All right.
I'm looking forward to see you.
Lovely. Thanks, Milan.
Bye.
Take it easy, mate. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye guys.
Bye.
Thanks.
Very good guy, huh?
Yes. So a nice little. I just wanted because I wasn't sure about how his English was going to be, so I thought,
It's very good.
Yeah, so it's perfect. Yeah, it's perfect. Nice kid, and like I said, 30 years old. These are one of the other guys. You got all these guys that are coming up, like the Rafael Brandeis, the Sibber Sisu, 27. You've got the British guys, James Hollands, all around 30 years old. These guys are the next generation, of potential super pros. Because he is so good. He beat Nicolas Vuilliard. That guy's, a really good 212.
Yeah.
And and I'm so glad he's moved up to the Open, and he got 7th place at the New York Pro last year. And many said they should have been 4th or 5th. That was the general consensus by a lot of people. So this guy, as a European, making top 6 in some of the biggest pro shows in the world, this is a guy that is deserving of publicity. And welcome back to MD Global Muscle Radio here at the Pump Media Studios, joined by my co-host AJ all the way from Norway, and we are joined by Mr. Stay Golden himself, the classic competitor, Wesley Vissers, all the way from Holland. Let's give him a round of applause, guys. Come on, Chris. Oh, come on, Chris. Thank you. Wesley, thank you for joining us, mate. How the devil are you?
Oh, no problem. Really love to be on the show for the first time, of course. Really honored to be here, and I'd love to talk about anything you want to ask me.
Well, we've got plenty to ask you, Wesley, because you're a huge star in the classic class. Before last year,
Wesley Vissers. Wow, I met him in. I met you last year, if you remember, in England when you turned pro.
Royal London Pro.
So
I do.
So we've been talking about your muscle development now for 2 years. A lot of hype. We've been hyping you a lot. You're very popular in Europe, but not only because of your physique, but your YouTube video, your YouTube channel. It's so motivating. It's very inspirational because you teach a lot of things. In Norway, you have a huge following. A lot of people are talking about you. And
that's awesome.
Last Olympia, we had you hyping you as the winner for the Olympia. That did not sadly go the way planned.
No.
How was Olympia for you? How was it for you? Because did you expect winning going in, or were you just expecting to compete? What was your mindset going to this Olympia?
Well, honestly, going into Olympia, knowing that I won the Pro Qualifier, the London Royal Pro, and also the Chicago Pro, I did think I would be in the top callouts. In my mind, I was like, okay, I might be compared to Chris Bumstead, to Arash, to really be compared to the top guys. But unfortunately, when you're going to the Olympia for the first time, especially as someone who has never done it, you sometimes make amateur mistakes still because you're not as seasoned as the other guys. So we wanted to come in too full, so we peaked too early. And honestly, by then I already knew, like one day beforehand, okay, I don't have the shape that I need to have to beat those guys who are at the top level. So when I was on stage, I kind of already knew that I wouldn't be placing in the top 5, for example, but still being placed that low was kind of a blow to me. But then right after, a lot of people told me that they really liked the physique that I brought to the stage because it represented to them classic bodybuilding, like from the 70s. Mm-hmm. And that honestly is what I've been wanting to bring to the stage ever since the beginning. So, that already kept motivating me to keep going and to improving on my physique. And for the first time, I could actually see myself on stage with the top guys and see what I needed to improve to actually beat them one day.
Let's put this into perspective, though. In March, he's an amateur. 6 months later, he's on stage at the Olympia, and he's got a pro win under his belt from Chicago. Let's just slow down a bit now and work out. I mean, how old are you, Wesley?
25.
25.
But that's how I rate him. We want him to. We're not happy about it. We want him more in. How was it? Did you meet Arnold? The Classic.
No, I did see him though for the first time, which already was an accomplishment. I've never seen him before in my life. I was kind of surprised to see him at the time that I did because I wasn't aware that he was at the athletes meeting, the day before the show. So I just walked in and I just saw him sitting there. I was like, okay, he's here. So that was kind of like a shock to me. Unfortunately, I didn't meet him because I really wanted to get in the top 6 so I could actually do my posing routine for him because I don't think he saw the prejudging. So he only sees the finals, and I wasn't in the finals, so unfortunately he didn't see me. And I do think that if he did see me, there would have been some kind of interaction. But I'm going to go for that next time.
But surely you must be happy. I mean, going back to, say, like last year, you must have been happy with what you did in that 6 months. In a year, because for me, the best condition I've seen you in was I remember I bumped into you backstage at the Royal London Pro because I'd seen the run up, I'd seen all the hype and all the videos, and I was like, this guy looks really good, this. And when I heard you doing the Royal London Pro, I thought, keep an eye out for him. And then I was backstage because my partner, she was competing in the pro women's physique, and I remember you were coming out and you were and I didn't realize how tall you were because I'm 6 foot tall and you towered over me. I mean, you're like what, 6'2"?
6'4".
Very close to 6'3", actually.
6'3". I mean, I was like, whoa, I didn't realize how big he was, And the condition you brought at that show was so tremendous. I mean, what were you, 24 then?
Yeah, I was 24 at the time. Yeah.
24.
So what's the game plan now for Wesley Vissers? What's the game plan now? How are we going to climb the ladder? What's the plan?
All right, so when I saw myself at the Olympia and the Arnold Classic, at the Arnold Classic, by the way, I did improve upon what they wanted to see. At the Olympia, they wanted to see better conditioning. They wanted to see improved legs. I did both, but they still, both of them can still be better, a lot better than what they showed even at the Arnold. What I also saw is that simply I'm quite tall. I'm pretty much always the tallest guy in the entire lineup. And in my opinion, beforehand, I thought it was an advantage. But right now, it seems to be starting to be a disadvantage because every single time the top 5 guys aren't nearly as tall as me. So it's very hard to, if I'm not in the perfect shape, they are going to more easily say, okay, we're not going to put him in the top call-outs because he's so different from the rest. Plus, he doesn't have, he's not perfect right now. So what I want to do is really be in perfect proportion so they cannot tell me, okay, your hamstrings need to have a better sweep or your quads need to have a better sweep. I want everything in perfect proportion. The back thickness needs to improve. The triceps need to improve. And once I've achieved that on top with a very good conditioning, I do think once I achieve that, it's very difficult to put me out of that top 5 lineup. Yeah. So, and then I will be compared to those guys, and then you can see that I'm much taller and in stellar conditioning with all the right body parts, and I think it's going to be very difficult then to beat me.
Wesley, I'll be honest, I couldn't believe how big you were when I saw you at the Arnold Classic. You were so much bigger because I saw you at the Olympia, I saw you at the Royal London Pro. I couldn't believe, I was thinking, I said to Ron Harris, I said, how has he even made the Classic limit? He looks twice the size of everybody else. I mean, your fullness and thickness, you must have been bang on the limit, surely.
Well, actually, the weigh-ins were in the evening, which actually had me worried at the beginning because I was like, okay, this is the first time, I think since the Royal London Pro that the weigh-ins were late during the day. So that means I had to look out at what I eat, what I drink. But when I actually arrived in America and we manipulated the water and salt intake, I kind of lost quite a lot of pounds again. And I'm allowed to weigh 247 pounds from my height. And I actually weighed in at 243 pounds, still with a t-shirt on and stuff like that. So I still have like 4 to 5 pounds to go in terms of muscle mass.
So, you said that you weighed 243 at the weigh-in. What do you think you were? Do you think you were heavier or lighter by the time you actually walked on stage? Because honestly, I was looking along the lineup, and you get some big guys like Arash. I mean, I know he wasn't in the Arnold this year, but there's someone that looks big in the classic lineup. But you looked absolutely, not just because of your height. It's not just because of your height, but you looked really big. Really there was
good.
a lot more muscle. And I was just thinking, by the time you're on stage, were you heavier than that, or were you over the weight limit?
Yeah, I was definitely heavier by the time I got on stage, because right after the weigh-in, we of course had a couple of high-carb meals, and we kept drinking the water, because we didn't stop drinking water, because we realized, okay, we don't have to worry about the weigh-ins itself, so we're just going to keep the nutrition in and hydration in to come in nice and full, because we already knew the conditioning was where it needed to be. However, still at the day itself, I do think my conditioning could have been better. I was washed out in the abs a little bit, because I always like to look at myself very objectively. What can I really improve? But you're right, that was a lot bigger than the previous shows. And when I look at the videos, myself afterwards, I can never really tell, compared to the others. But when I looked at the videos afterwards, I could tell, okay, I was pretty big, especially the upper body, and even the legs, which a lot of people always complain about. From the front view, they were kind of comparable to most of the guys. So that was kind of a surprise to me as well.
I remember looking on the, it was a video, somebody put the people, the placings from the classic class, because you got 10th, didn't you, in the Arnold?
Yeah, number 10.
I was shocked by that. I did have you in the top 6. I got some stick for that, but I said no. I had you. I think 5th, 6th would have been fair. Yeah. I think when I said 10th, I went, nah, absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
So what's your opinion about this Arnold Classic? When Classic is a new class, most of us, when we think Classic, we think about your physique, the Arnold look, What's your opinion on that George Peterson beat Steve Loris, who's more similar to you, Steve Loris, than George Peterson?
Classic.
What's your opinion? Because this is a classic class, and we think of you as the classical look. What's your opinion on this?
Well, to me, the judges are looking for something different than what the audience thinks classic physique is. And the confusion, I think, is in the name itself. It's called classic physique, and classic refers to, back in the day. Yeah. And to us, what they really wanted to bring back, because they were complaining about the mass monsters, they wanted to bring back the time of Arnold Schwarzenegger, in my opinion. Frank Zane, Frankie Columbo, guys like that, who just had tight packages, who looked great from the golden era of bodybuilding. That's what I thought as well. So that's the package I kept on bringing, and I won the first 2 times. So I was like, okay, this is exactly what they want to see.
Yeah.
But then when you get to the top of the bodybuilding game, the Arnold Classic and the Mr. Olympia, they start judging differently, it seems. Because I don't even think that the one judging panel has the same opinion as the other judging panel, for example. Because I do realize that the Arnold Classic and the Olympia had similar judging panels, so both of them judge kind of the same way. So in both of those, Brian won the Olympia and George won the Arnold Classic. And at both contests, the second place was a more classic physique at what you would compare to the 70s, like Chris Bumstead, who had an enormous V-taper with a vacuum, and also Steve Laureus, who has the same. And I told Steve the day after, I also told him, well, I think you had the more classic physique for this class. It's called classic physique. So I was like, being honest, I mean, he wasn't that much under condition compared to George Peterson. I mean, George Peterson arguably was the most complete bodybuilder on stage. But then you could tell people like, okay, this class is just a weight limit for bodybuilders. Yeah. Like instead of going to the open, now there's a weight limit, and it limits the amount of muscle you can put on for your weight. But then why add the classic to it if they let, I do think Brian and George have an amazing physique for sure. I mean, there's nothing wrong about their physiques. I mean, they are incredible champions. But when it's called classic physique, a lot of people, including you yourself, are just confused about the placing sometimes, because you do think, well, if it's called classic, why don't they let guys who look like the classic bodybuilders win?
Yeah.
And but there's two sides to this, and there's a lot of people on one side, a lot of people on the other side, and I think it's going to take some time before there's really consensus on what truly the judging should be like in this class.
There does seem to be a bit of a mixed opinion because, in fairness, George Peterson only won by 1 point. So it wasn't. So obviously there were some judges that felt Laureus was more of an embodiment of a classic bodybuilder, you know. But
also George had such a great back that maybe that also.
Well, yeah, and he is. I mean, I was never on the George train when he got third place at the Olympia the first time, and then last year I was like, shit, he is really good. He's got good condition. But actually, from a classic point of view, I mean, we had George on our show a few weeks ago, and he was saying that. What was he saying about, he says, well, Flex Wheeler and guys like that were classic, but they were competing as open. So it was, I don't know. Like I said, it wasn't a clear-cut decision. It was a close one. So, if there'd been one or two other judges that had Steve first, Steve would have won, So it wasn't such a clear decision. So it's not like there's a huge disparity there.
So now that the Arnold Classic is over, what are you going to use? How is your clothing thing going? Because you have your own clothing line, don't you?
Yeah, I do. It's called the Vintage Genetics.
Yes.
It's actually going really well. Honestly, since I turned pro at London last year, It's been going really amazing. I mean, just the pro status brings something with it that just makes you a lot more popular. You're more talked about in the entire industry. And along with that, my own brand grows with it. Because honestly, when I was at the Olympia in Las Vegas, they don't say, hey, there's Wesley Vissers. No, they say, hey, look, that's Vintage Genetics.
Wow, fantastic.
I'm one with the brand, which is a great thing. So I'm just very, very happy that I'm able now to, my passion is my job right now, and that's something a lot of people. I always try to tell people, if you have a passion, just go for it, and eventually it's gonna be your job. Eventually. Able to live off of it, and that's what I've achieved now, and it's only going to keep growing and growing. So I'm very happy with how it's going for sure.
The thing is, your clothing and your YouTube channel, it's of a level and a quality that is really, it is a cut above. And I think, like you said, it's all association, because your physique is good, you've won pro shows, and everything else that you do is really to a high standard. So, I think they all help each other, don't they?
They do, and I appreciate you saying that for sure. That's the feedback I get from quite a lot of people also. I always try to answer everybody who asks me something like on Instagram or via email, and they never really expect an answer. So when I do answer, they're very surprised, and sometimes those people then go on to buy something, for example, because they want to show the support. So the way that I convey myself really does help in getting more people to support me, and sometimes they want to buy something, and that simply helps me invest that money into making the brand bigger and making the videos better. It's all really synergetic with each other.
Have you, when I've had you on Muscle News Weekly a few times, and my partner Rosie, who I do the show with, she was saying, she says, I bet he's really good at seminars. Have you done seminars? Because you've got a really good, you've got a good personality, you're intelligent, you really like to help people, you really, like AJ was saying, you really help teach people about the basics of training and why. It's not kind of all the elitist kind of, this is what I do, so, do it if you want to do it. You really, really, it's about exercise function and stuff like that. And sometimes it's really important to let people know the basics. So going back to, have you done any seminars, or would you look at doing any?
Yeah, honestly, I'm going to be giving a seminar here in the Netherlands on April 20 at Farks Gym for the ones watching who can actually get there. And I actually started the sales on the website today, so
cool.
I will seminar then. But yeah, there are actually a lot of people who want me to give a seminar or be there for, like, a lot of gyms here in the Netherlands. They have like a day of when they open a new gym or something, they want me to come there and just to be a speaker or someone who explains the training or explains the new devices, the apparatus that are there, how they work. And, they know that I have quite a lot of knowledge, as I also am studying nutrition and dietetics, for example. So that's why I like to actually research a lot. So whenever I say something, I can back it up with some kind of scientific research, or it's not just experience, which most bodybuilders rely on, but it's also backed up by actual literature and searching what really is true.
So it's not just bro science then, or what you do in the gym. Yeah. Because, I mean, we spoke in the last couple of weeks, and you were saying, I can't do that this day because I'm at university. So do you want to tell us about that, studying and do it with the clothing and the YouTube and everything you're doing?
Yeah, it's, it's kind of honestly getting a little bit difficult to combine everything right now, because I'm in my last year of my study, and then I have to do my thesis, of course, which I'm in the middle in. And I had to do a lot of research for that. It takes up a lot of time. And at the same time, you have to do a lot of nutrition plans, workout plans, coaching, do your videos, prepare for bodybuilding contests, do stuff like seminars, personal training. So you have a very busy schedule, and you could complain about it or say, well, at least I have a busy schedule. At least I have people interested in who I am and what I do. So that's why I love doing what I do. I don't view it as work. I do it when I wake up until I go to bed, but I love doing it. So it doesn't feel like a chore to me. But sometimes it does get very busy and a little difficult to combine everything, to really get everything done when you want it done.
Plus you've been on, I mean, you competed March, August, September, March. You've pretty much been on a constant prep since the beginning of last January. So how is that on top of everything else? Do you, because some people say that when you're on a constant prep, it's actually the routine is actually okay. You can actually stay in it. But do you feel fresh? Do you feel, do you think one really hurts the other sometimes, maybe when you're tired or?
Well, honestly, it's as most bodybuilders who start doing contests know, the most difficult thing is actually always having your food ready, because you have a standard diet. And a lot of people don't think about how much time that actually costs to make everything, to prepare everything, to buy everything. And it's a mental stress knowing that when you are not eating exactly as you're supposed to eat, then you're pretty stressful, combined with having to do a lot of things. So to me, right now, I feel a lot more free, not having to adhere to such a strict diet. For example, if you don't have the certain proteins in home, like the certain types of fish, the certain types of salmon, the certain types of codfish, for example, that I needed to have for the contest prep, I can simply pick up something else. Or if I am delayed at school, I don't have to worry about getting home earlier to really get my food in. So stuff like that really does help not being in a contest preparation. Because honestly, even before March of last year, I was doing Dutch contests, which of course were not covered internationally, but I've pretty much been in diet phase for about 2 years straight.
Oh, really?
Prep, maybe having 1 month in between, but no really period of growth. And right now, really my first opportunity to do a proper growth period for the next show.
Okay, I'm curious to know, because you said your fan base has kind of exploded since, and your sales with your clothing have exploded since you turned pro last year. I've got a feeling you've got a very, very, very big and dedicated fan base. Can you tell us about the growth of that in the last year? Because I'm very curious.
Well, honestly, the fan base has grown really, really well. The support I've been getting, the feedback I've been getting, and the people sharing and watching the videos has just grown exponentially. Getting picked up by popular channels like Nick Strength and Power, RX Muscle, your own channel, a lot, which I really appreciate it. It just really helps getting myself out there, and just it grows the fan base every single time. There's not a lot of people who have negative things to say. Just, there's always a group who have critique about my physique, but not really about who I am or my personality, which I really do appreciate. And without the support of all the people, I wouldn't be where I am right now. But it definitely has grown since I've turned pro at that London Pro stage, and it's just been amazing. There kind of brings like a little pressure with it, because right now I can see my subscriptions and YouTube are growing to such a phase that I'm like, okay, it's so many people right now really have to use this for something. Like at first it was like, okay, I can post a video here and there and people will enjoy it. But right now it has to be more and more professional because of the entire the fan base is so huge right now that you're forced to do your videos a little differently than how you used to do them, because it's a larger fan base is associated with you being more professional about everything, and that also takes a bit more time with it. So all in all, I really enjoy the growth I've been experiencing, and I really appreciate everything that has been coming my way.
Which do you think is more successful, if you had to say one, your vintage clothing or your YouTube channel? Which is the fastest growing one that is just going to keep growing and growing?
Honestly, the YouTube channel has been growing linearly, it went from 0 to this in kind of a steady phase. And the clothing line, ever since I became pro, has been going up exponentially.
Right.
So I kind of view it like every time I used to wear something that I'm selling in a video, it would sell 10% of the time, and now it's selling half of the time, for example.
Yeah.
So for every people watching, a lot more people are buying the stuff now because they think they support me. And of course, we live in a very judgmental world, and having done the Olympia, the Arnold Classic, and being a pro simply brings a status with it that people are more likely to get stuff from you. Just go with the territory, I think.
Ask me any questions.
Who planned? This is your dream from the beginning, to make these videos, to make the clothes, to turn pro? Is this something that you planned all along, or did it gradually just turn out like this?
Well, the moment that I started the YouTube channel, I exactly knew what direction I was going to go. Like literally the very first video is already called Classic Bodybuilding. So that's what I stood for from the beginning. But it was actually my mom who actually persuaded me to begin my YouTube channel, because beforehand I was explaining the things in the YouTube channel in the gym itself without doing video.
Go mum.
Yeah. And she was like, why would you explain it individually to people instead of just making a video so everybody can watch it? And to my surprise, it caught up real quickly. Like a lot of channels are really, because my physique was already pretty good in the eyes of a lot of people, they said, okay, this guy's new all of a sudden, where is he coming from? So I was kind of getting a lot of popularity pretty early on, while some people are struggling quite for a long time with videos at the beginning. For me, it was from the beginning till now, it was a growth period that never ended. So I'm fortunate that happened, for sure. It's just been a great time.
Have you always competed in Classic?
No, I competed actually in the super heavyweights in the Netherlands before.
How old?
And the thing is, right before doing my first Classic show in London in March last year, that was literally the first Classic Physique show ever in Europe.
Yeah.
And that's when I said, okay, now I have the opportunity to finally do the class that I want to do. Because the show before that was in November the year before, and that was simply a super heavyweight class that I had to compete in because there was nothing else in the Netherlands.
Yeah, hang on a minute. You would have been, weren't you a junior, or were you 24 then? Because surely you were just, were you a junior then at that time? Could you have done the juniors? Because it's 23 and under, isn't it?
Well, I started when I was 20 years old as a junior indeed, and until 23, a junior in the Netherlands. And when you turn 23 after that, you're not a junior anymore. So the last two shows that I did was simply as a regular, not a junior. So as a super heavyweight, just a regular super heavyweight, yeah.
So you're happy, obviously, when the Classic came along. What do you think about the growth of the Classic class? Because I remember when it came along a few years ago, and I remember being at the 2017 Olympia covering it for MD, and I was like, I couldn't believe the talk and the hype and the interest behind the actual Classic class. It was just like electric. It was just incredible. And obviously now we've got the Chris Bumsteads, people like yourself and Brion, and these personalities and these great physiques, the Arash, and it literally shows no sign of slowing down in terms of its exponential growth.
That's very true. It kind of is. It was a missing link in between open bodybuilding and men's physique. Because a lot of people want to be a bodybuilder, they want to do the poses, but they're simply too afraid or not confident enough to pose with the open class because they're like, okay, I'm never going to win that one. And men's physique is simply an entirely different division. It's not bodybuilding posing, it's different. So then Classic Physique came along, and that's what inspired a lot of people to actually give it a shot. And they bring more people and more people with them. And the Classic Physique, they bring physiques with them that if you saw them at the beach, you could say, okay, if I train hard enough, if I keep to a diet, I could actually look like this one day. And you don't really get that with the open class. I mean, that's just so away from where you could actually go potentially that it doesn't really inspire you to do a show. But when you see a classic physique competitor, you might actually say, okay, I'm really going to go for this show next year. I may or may not be able to do it, but you actually have a belief in yourself that you're able to do so. And then so many people thought that way, and it's becoming so popular. My coach is already, he was only coaching open guys previously. I was the first classic physique guy, and I was coaching a lot of classic physique guys. And when he goes to shows Europe, internationally in different countries, he notices that even the classic physique classes are bigger than men's physique right now. It's just they sometimes have a delay of like 1 or 2 hours because the physique class is too big. It's like keep on going with that class before they can go to the other classes. So, in my opinion, it's a very great progression of the sport.
Well, will we see? You're only 25. When you're 30, we will see you in the open class.
I was just about to ask that.
Will you grow into the class? Because you're only 25, and as the years go, you want to gain a little. You have more improvements.
He's big, mate.
So and we've seen you now, and a lot of us people, we want to see taller guys in the open class. We want to see, because we're a little bit. The 5'7", 5'8" look is great, but we want to see people who are 6'3" like yourself. So, will we see you in the open class in the future?
It might definitely be possible.
Oh, wow.
So it's a yes.
That's very interesting.
So, in the direction it's going now, they won't see simply a very big aesthetic bodybuilder on stage as the winner. Now, that's Sean Woden.
Yes.
Correct.
So, to me, it opens up a possibility that indeed in a few years, if the sport keeps evolving this way, I might really have a great shot at doing well in the open. So when I reach the weight limit in classic physique and I notice that I can grow a lot more, improve a lot more, because in the end, I am a bodybuilder because I love to work out and improve myself. If that stops, I simply have no choice but to switch to open. But it doesn't mean that I'm switching from classic in my mental view. I'm still going to remain classic. I'm simply going to be too heavy to compete within the classic physique limitations. So I still want to represent that golden era physique, but then in the open class.
So since Sean Roden has won the Olympia, in your opinion, has there been a dialogue between a lot of the classic guys? Has there been any sort of WhatsApp group chats about, okay, now Sean Roden's won the Olympia as an open. He's bringing classic lines, kind of like people say Cedric does. So there's obviously been, has that been very kind of motivational for the classic guys to maybe think, oh, maybe there is a chance for guys like yourself by the time you're 30 to switch to open?
Yeah, I think it definitely is a motivation for a lot of those guys to actually give open a try.
Yeah.
We have examples like we all know Regan Grimes tried classic first, and now he's an open bodybuilder again. Not sure what his reasons were, but in my opinion, he's one of those bodybuilders who can actually close that gap in between thinking that an open guy only has to be massive without the aesthetics. Regan Grimes kind of has the combination of both. And there's a lot more guys like him starting to come up. And some people are actually, which is a big debate right now, practicing the vacuum pose, which a lot of open guys are even trying right now. So, I'm curious to see where the future is going to go with this.
What's your take on the vacuum pose? Because me and AJ were just talking about this in the intro, and I'll be honest, I don't see what the fuss is all about. What? I don't. I'm not. But you do the vacuum, don't you? So obviously you like it.
Yeah.
Because you can do it.
I don't see the fuss either, because to me it's just a tool to make your physique look better. If it looks better with it, then show it. If it doesn't look better with it, then don't show it. Yeah. But it does show everyone that you have the ability to actually use those transverse abdominis muscles. But if you don't look better with it, why would you even use it, for example?
I just don't see it. I just don't understand.
I just hope...
But hang on, like Wesley said, it's like some bodybuilders, you see them. It's like you see Sean Roden do a front door bicep. He crunches his abs down. I can't imagine he would look... He's probably one of those guys that wouldn't look better if he could do a vacuum. I can't visualize it. You got guys like Luke Sandow. They do a vacuum and it looks really impressive. But I think it suits different physiques. Like I've seen you do it and it does look good. But I could maybe if you did an ab down pose where you crunch down, maybe it wouldn't look so good. So I'm sure you've tried that, you know.
I have tried that. Because I'm tall, it doesn't look as aesthetic to me. Especially because I had the same problem that Arnold had back in the day. He had to do the vacuum to make his waist look smaller. And that's what I have to do as well.
Right.
To accentuate the taper. Because bodybuilding is mostly also an illusion and playing with angles on stage. So the vacuum simply helps me create a better V taper. Right. And it just shows off my physique better.
So that works for your physique in particular?
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
I hope a lot of these guys, the younger guys, taller guys, grow into the open class, Wesley, because we want to see we don't want you to just stay in classic and stop there, because we're complaining about people are not as beautifully in the open. Some people say that the open class lacks some beautiful physiques. Some people say this.
Sean Roden.
Yeah, but some people say this. So with your, like, in 5 years, if you add slowly mass, it will be a sight to see when you go in the open class. It will be beautiful.
Wesley, I think he wants to see you at 300 pounds shredded, mate. That's what he wants to see. By the time you're 30, he wants to see you strolling on stage at the Olympia in the Open.
Is that your dream, to go in the open class? Is it your dream at the end?
I think it's to win the classic Olympia.
Right now, being the Mr. Olympia still means the champion of the open class, which means...
Oh, really?
Yes, of course.
I didn't expect Wesley to say that.
Of course it does.
I thought it was all about the classic and it was all about winning the classic Olympia. That was it, the only goal, and then whatever.
So,
well, that's the first step, though.
Let's get get Olympia wins under your belt first. So that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm shocked by that. Okay, let's talk about. Are you going to be at the Olympia watching this year?
I won't be present there. Unfortunately, it's quite of an investment to get there from the Netherlands every single time, America. So I wish I could have been there, but I'm going to be watching it from here, of course. And next year, I really am going to be there. I'm going to do my best to get there and really score as high as possible.
Okay, well, talking about the Olympia this year.
Let's hope the stream works this year.
Yeah, I hope. Well done. What do you think is going to happen this year? Do you think Breon's going to win? Do you think... Do you think Breon's going to win again? Do you think? I mean, because I know Chris Bumstead's had a problem with there was some problem with his kidney or some sort of infection. What do you think is going to happen this year? Do you think it's because it's been the same top three for the last 2 years now? You've had Breon, you've had Chris, and then you've had George, and it's been same top three. And I think, what do you think is going to happen this year?
Who do you want to see win, and who do you think is going to win?
Basically.
Well, who I want to see win is someone like Steve Laureus or Chris Bumstead. Either of those two guys would actually give a message to the rest of the world, okay, this is what classic physique is about. These are the winners. I mean, one of those guys, if they win, then it would tell me, okay, they're moving into the right direction now, because that's a clear-cut classic physique reminiscent of the golden era, right? So that's really what I would like to see. But I think George won't be competing in the classic this time because he's going to go to the 212. I think that I saw on his Instagram.
George Peterson.
Well, he's not told us.
He's doing the 212.
Oh, what?
Well, either it was an April Fool's joke.
I think it's an April Fool's. Yeah.
It was April Fool's joke.
I would check the date on that one.
All right. If he is gonna be competing, I mean, he has said himself many times he already reached the weight limit. So he always has to go down right before actually the weigh-ins to actually make the weigh-ins. So I don't think he's gonna beat either Chris or Breon if they compete again at the same conditioning, because third place is simply, he cannot improve upon that. That's what he said himself a couple of times. So I want to see Steve or Chris win, but if Breon comes in at 100% again, and especially knowing that Chris has undergone some problems, it's going to be very difficult for him, I think, to come in even better shape than to beat someone like Breon. So I think it's going to be like a boring prediction that Breon is going to win again. But I hope that Steve or Chris is going to win, yeah.
So you think Steve and Chris are more classic than Breon?
I think so. I think Brian has simply, like George, a complete physique without really being able to pinpoint a weak point, which is the reason that he's winning every single time. But if you simply look at the comments, simply look at the opinion of the audience watching, they think, and me included, that Steve or Chris has a more physique reminiscent of classic. Like if you watch them, if you compare them to Brian, you would say, okay, those guys look more like a golden era, like classic physiques. And I share that opinion myself. However, Brian is still an amazing bodybuilder, but if they really want the classic and classic physique to be true, they would have someone like Chris or Steve win.
This debate is going to be just like the how to pick the bikini winner. Like there's always going to be a bat like classic physique.
It's interesting. It makes things interesting. It gives a good talking point anyway.
So how is people gonna? We need to. Yeah, I know this. The judging criteria needs to get a proper. Doesn't be has to how to.
Well, no, because it's always going to be. You're going to have different judges that have different opinions of what they see as classic. They will. Like, you got Brian and Chris. They're two very different types of physiques, Do you think... I know you really play on the way... I mean, you literally copy Ronnie. Arnold's...
Wesley.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, but, you copy Arnold's literally posing. I mean, it's very similar, the same poses. Do you think it helps to kind of mimic someone that is really considered to be like a classic? Because you've got Chris Bumstead, who kind of poses a little bit like Barry DeMay sometimes. You pose like Arnold. Do you think it helps to sort of mimic someone that you really do see that is embodies the classic physique? And literally, and even way you pose.
Yeah, I think so. I think it works only if you actually can pull off those poses in a correct way.
You do.
Some people try Arnold poses, but if they then look bad, they simply only look good or they look really bad. So that's the problem with a lot of people trying to mimic poses from known bodybuilders. But I do think it really helps because it also immediately shows to the audience and the judges, okay, this was a pose from a classic guy and he's perfectly executing it. So he can actually hit that pose in the right way. So he is fit for this class. So I do think it helps.
We need a proper off-season. We want to see you first time Arnold Classic 2020 pose in front of Arnold. That would be something.
I want to see Arnold's face just so he goes like so he does a double take. And
like really shock Arnold, in the top 3 at the Arnold Classic 2020. Doesn't that sound like how it's meant to be?
I'm surprised they also didn't come to you when they were making Bigger, the movie. When they had Callum von Moger, Callum did a fantastic job acting-wise, because I saw the film, I saw the premiere in Las Vegas at the Olympia last year, and the acting was I thought it was very, very good. But when he was on stage at the 1970 Olympia between him and Sergio, his posing it was terrible. It was completely, I was just thinking, if they could have, the posing, I sometimes wish they'd maybe use you as the stunt double and him as the actor, because the acting was great, but the way you pose and the way your physique is, it's so much more like Arnold's than Callum von Moger's.
Have you gotten any acting offers?
No, not really, actually. I think it's more difficult since I live in the Netherlands, and bodybuilding here isn't nearly as big as in America. So I do think it would help if I was more over there, of course. But I am very interested in doing that in the future for sure.
Get yourself on some agents' books. That's what you got to do. Yeah. There's a guy in the UK called Martin Ford, and tall guy, the guy with the tattoos up the neck. Yeah, that guy is working non-stop. He's in films and video games, and he's, purely because of his physique and his height and his stature and the way he looks, because, if you're looking for someone like that, there's not going to be many people that tick that box. So
that's true.
Yes. AJ, anyone ask Wesley any final questions before we let him go?
Not any questions. It's just happy to see that since I saw you like a year ago, even though the placings are not what I expected, it's that you're rising, everybody's knowing your name. You're such a dedicated, you help people see it. What you're doing is really like a good things for people around Europe, especially in Europe. We really kids your kids 18, 19, they really look at you with inspiration, and it's really like impressive what you're doing. And to be from the Netherlands, only 25 years old, everybody knows your name
25.
now. So, and only 25. Don't be down on the placings. No. Just we expect you to sit on top of the placings for next year, but you should be really proud of what you've done this year, all around, and the way you're going to school. And we're really impressed, and you are a representative of a proper IFBB pro, and we're really proud of you.
Bodybuilding
Wesley
needs role models like Wesley.
Yeah, we're really proud of you. So, will people want to buy Vintage Genetics clothes?
Yep.
And
do you want to give us the?
And your YouTube channel is called?
Also, Vintage Genetics.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're proud of you, Wesley.
Google search that, and you want to obviously Google search. Your Instagram name is Wesley Vissers.
Yeah, Wesley Vissers.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Anyone you want to give a shout out to, or anybody?
Well, honestly, I just want to give a shout out to the people who really support me most, which is my family, my especially my parents. You have no idea how much, especially my dad, is also doing for me. He's actually with me with the clothing line. He's also doing as much as I am behind the scenes. So it's really a family company. Good. And I just want to give my girlfriend a shout out, who lives with me, who has to go through what I have to go through. So also that, and of course my coach, who helps me amazingly. Just a very tight knit people around me that really bring out the best in me. So really want to give those people a shout out for sure.
Also, I forgot to say earlier, I was at the, I was down in the lobby, sat with Sean Ray, and I was sat with Luke Sandow, and all of a sudden the lift pinged, and this huge team of people came out of the lift. I thought, and there was people taking with video cameras on. I thought, oh, it must be Arnold. There was an entourage. It must be maybe 8 to 10 people, and it was Wesley, and there was 2 people filming. I was like, oh, it's Wesley. I was like, that is quite an entourage.
And you have to say, stay golden for us, Wesley, before we go out. You have to say it for us. No, he has to say it, not you.
You? Of course.
Aww. Go on then.
Well, don't forget to stay golden.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Fanboy squeal.
Yep.
All right, Wesley, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it, and wish you all the best for the future. And yes, hope to see you very, very soon. So keep doing what you're doing, mate. You're doing a good job. Keep working hard, and all the best with your studies and your clothing range and YouTube. So yeah, thank you for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Really enjoyed being on here, and thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Wesley. Appreciate that, mate. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. He thought I wanted to hear Giles say stay golden. Why would I walk out? What? Who wants to hear you say when we have the guy saying it right in front of us?
I say it because I do say it at the house sometimes.
No, Wesley Vissers is somebody that I was really excited to see last year turn pro, because when I went to the amateur show and I saw him, I didn't know he was competing. I was like, wow, because I've seen him a lot on YouTube.
Yep.
Really impressed. I'm not a guy.
Smart guy.
I'm really impressed by bodybuilders' physiques, but I'm even more impressed when I see the total package. And I know he has the total package. Going to school, building this clothing, YouTube, turning pro, and not throwing out his girlfriend and getting a new girlfriend when you turn pro.
Yeah.
Having your dad involved with the company.
Yeah.
This is
good support system.
This is like a proper young man.
And how many times have you and I spoke on the show and off the show about professionalism from the professionals?
A couple interesting things.
Chris is nodding.
As you see, the people doing the classic don't know even how to judge the class. They know how to judge it, but they're different. There's so many different opinions.
Well, that's a good thing, really.
That's a good thing. But as we said, everybody wants to have the Mr. Olympia Sandown. You only get that in an open class.
Yeah.
Just like Phil Heath says, and Sergio Oliva Jr. says, and what I'm saying. You have to get it in the open class, become Mr. Olympia.
I didn't expect him to say that.
Of course, everybody
I thought he was going to be like, no, I'm just going to stay in Classic forever, and that's what I'm going to do. Because I'm telling you, mate, the Arnold Classic, I was looking, and he looked colossal. He was huge, because he is tall, and a lot of the Classic guys in that lineup, certainly the Arnold Classic, the Keons, and they were a little bit shorter, these guys. And I couldn't believe he was, not just taller, but the thickness and the muscle. I was like, my God, this guy is really, he's been competing non-stop. He got turned pro in March. He won the Chicago Pro. He did the Olympia. Then he's doing the Arnold back-to-back, and he's still managing to put on size. So he looked big. And the thing is, he's got a big frame. I could see him as an open. I could see him as an open in, by the time he's 30.
6'3", 300 pounds, post downs with Jamie the Giant.
Yeah.
No,
Our guest on last episode.
but if more people his length and width try open, slowly you will get. We can't say. Okay, so Phil Heath is 5'8", and my perfect physique went on. So it's not like we don't want to have people who's 5'8", or 5'7", or 5'9". But like, what? There's no reason if you're 6'3", you can do it.
Yeah.
And if more people then jump into the class, we will get more out of a look. The judges will see yes, and we will see a change.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Fantastic.
the man.
Do you enjoy that?
Say it for me.
Microphone. You keep moving away from.
Say it. Stay golden. Let's do it the best.
Don't forget to stay golden. I gotta do the bicep pose.
Don't forget to stay golden.
You just sound like
Macho Man.
You sound like Steve Austin. You sound like Steve Austin.
Ah, no, it wasn't the same.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Ooh, yeah.
A lot of wrestling references there. Yeah, so big thank you there to Wesley, 25 years old, classic competitor, pro show winner, owns his own clothing company, fantastic YouTube channel. Check it out. And
this is a role model.
This is a role model. So big thank you to that. And we are out.